하면서 저희가 많이 고민한 부분이 있어요. 기존 룬에 대한 가치를 훼손하진 않는지, 기존 파밍 구조를 해치진 않는지, 마지막으로 소환사 여러분들에게 그 스트레스를 많이 주진 않는지에 대해서 크게 세 가지에 대해서 걱정을 많이 했는데, 고대 룬이 업데이트 된다고 해서 기존 룬을 다 대체하진 않을 거예요. 그러기 위해서 저희가 수치적인 밸런스를 되게 조심스럽게 했었고요. 제한적으로 획득할 수 있어서 여기서 충분히 돌다가 제한된 횟수를 다 소모하면 기존의 카이로스 2개 던전, 2개 레이드도 여전히 중요한 파밍 장소가 될 것입니다. 이 차각성은 태생 2, 3성 몬스터를 대상으로 진행하게 되는데요. 서비스 초기에는 이런 태생 2, 3성 몬스터들도 소환사 여러분들의 사랑을 많이 받았고 많이 쓰였거든요. 이런 좀 예전에 불헤라운드가 아레나에서 쓰인다거나, 예전보다 지금은 좀 많이 그런 관계가 좀 없어지지 않았나, 그런 거에서 좀 아쉬움이 있었고, 그래서 어떻게 하면 이런 태생 2, 3성 몬스터들과 지금 소환사 여러분들이 애착을 가질 수 있을까에 대해서 고민을 많이 했었고, 그러려면 좀 애들이 좀 더 멋있어지고 좀 유용해지면 태생 2, 3성 몬스터를 좀 더 사랑해 주지 않을까 라는 생각에서 2차 각성을 기획하게 되었습니다.
2차 각성을 작업할 때 스토리나 컨셉 이런 것도 중요하지만, 일단 비주얼적으로 봤을 때 이건 유저들이 이건 각성해야 돼 이런 느낌이 들 수 있게 작업을 하려고 굉장히 노력을 했고요. 형상 변환 같은 경우에는 이전에 보지 못했던 어떤 신박한 컨셉이나 재치 있는 어떤 새로운 컨셉을 입혀서 이렇게 캐릭터를 매력적으로 만들었다면, 2차 각성에서는 그 캐릭터가 원래 가지고 있었던 유저들이 매력적으로 느꼈던 그런 부분들을 더 부각시켜서 더 아름다운 캐릭터, 더 세 보이는 캐릭터를 만들려고 노력했습니다. 페어리한테 약간 자연적이고 마법적인 어떤 영험한 느낌을 주고 싶었어요. 그래서 꽃잎 날개와 꽃이 엮어진 듯한 느낌의 마법진을 이렇게 같이 붙여줬거든요. 그래서 상냥한 숲의 주인 같은 이미지로 완성하게 되었습니다. 페어리 말고도 픽시, 이누가미, 워베어가 더 강해지고 멋있어진 모습으로 소환사님들을 기다리고 있으니까요. 많은 기대 부탁드립니다.
우연히 사무실을 돌아다니던 중에 2차 각성이 된 이누가미 작업물을 보게 되었고, 그 이누가미를 보자마자 멋있다. 2차 각성 던전의 보스는 이 이누가미로 하면 정말 멋있을 것 같다라는 생각에 이 기획이 시작되었습니다. 이 2차 각성 던전의 보스는 차원 던전과 다르게 2차 각성된 몬스터가 더욱더 주인공이 되어야 한다는 생각이 들었고, 그래서 양쪽에 뭔가 이 2차 각성 몬스터의 스킬을 더욱 빛나게 할 수 있는 기믹이나 오브젝트를 구성하게 되었습니다. 하지만 꼭 이 던전의 보스만이 그 주인공은 아닙니다. 예를 들어 이누가미 2차 각성 던전에 입장하기 위해서는 소환사 여러분의 이누가미가 필수로 입장해야 합니다. 결국 소환사 여러분의 몬스터도 이 던전 안에서는 주인공이 되는 것이죠.
이번 업데이트에서 크게 중점을 둔 부분은 예전과 마찬가지로 재미고요. 소환사 여러분들이 재밌게 즐기고 많은 경험을 했으면 좋겠습니다.
서머너즈워가 5주년을 맞이했는데요. 계속 재밌게 즐겨주신 분들께 감사드리며,
애정을 가지고 키우던 몬스터가 2차 각성을 통해 새로운 몬스터로 탄생하는 순간을 꼭 경험해보세요.
네, 이번 업데이트는 차원호를 통해 새로운 차원으로 이동하게 된 소환사들이 겪는 모험과 전투를 담고 있습니다. 차루카 유적 전투 후 천국 외에는 새로 발견된 고대 유적에 대한 조사를 하게 되는데요. 그 조사 과정에서 다른 차원으로 이동할 수 있는 차원호를 발견하게 됩니다. 차원호를 통해서 다른 차원에 대한 탐사를 진행하게 되지만 미지의 존재와 맞닥뜨리게 되면서 난관에 봉착하게 됩니다. 이를 해결하기 위해서 소환사분들에게 새로운 차원에 대한 조사를 의뢰하게 되고요. 소환사분들은 차원을 통해서 다른 차원으로 떠나게 됩니다.
최초에 업데이트되는 차원홀은 총 2개의 차원으로 구성되어 있고요. 카르잔이라는 야수의 차원과 엘루미아라는 요정의 차원으로 구성되어 있습니다. 두 지역 다 기존 시나리오 지역과는 좀 다른 느낌을 주려고 노력을 했고, 차원홀만의 좀 독특한 세계관들을 좀 만들어내려고 좀 작업을 진행했습니다. 예를 들어서 요정의 차원 같은 경우에는 페어리랑 빛이 이들이 살 수 있는 좀 신비롭고 몽환적인 느낌, 그리고 좀 빛이나 좀 폭포, 물, 또 좀 독특한 오브젝트들을 좀 사용해서 그리려고 좀 했고요. 이누가미와 워베어가 살고 있는 야수 차원은 좀 짙은 녹색, 그리고 갈색, 좀 이렇게 밀림, 울창한 느낌으로 컨셉을 진행했습니다.
각 차원마다 각기 다른 모습의 보스들을 만날 수 있는데요. 그 보스들은 그 차원 환경에 맞춰서 진화를 했다는 설정을 가지고 시작을 했습니다. 요정 차원 같은 경우에는 아무래도 좀 더 여성적이고 주변에 있는 예쁜 색깔이라든지 오브젝트들을 이용을 해가지고 좀 아름다움을 표현을 하려고 노력을 했습니다. 야수 차원의 보스 같은 경우에는 유저들이 이 보스를 만났을 때 굉장히 압도적인 느낌을 받았으면 좋겠다라고 생각하면서 작업을 했습니다. 각 차원의 분위기가 다른 만큼 보스들의 디자인도 완전히 상반되기 때문에 각기 다른 재미와 매력을 느낄 수 있을 거라고 생각합니다.
고대 가디언의 스킬 구성에 있어서 가장 중점을 두었던 사항은 새로운 보스와 전투를 할 때 좀 새로운 느낌이 되었으면 좋겠다라는 점에서 먼저 시작을 하게 되었습니다. 이렇게 한 30-40번 정도 스킬 구성이 드랍되다 보니까 좀 약간 오기가 좀 생긴 것도 있고, 정말 아예 판을 좀 깨보자 약간 이런 생각을 해본 것도 있어서 접근 방식을 좀 다르게 해봤습니다. 뭔가 양쪽에 기믹이나 이제 오브젝트가 있는 것이 아니라 보스 자체가 소환사처럼 양쪽에 특별한 몬스터들을 소환을 해서 전투를 진행하는 것을 컨셉으로 생각을 시작하였습니다. 고대 가디언은 총 3페이지에 걸쳐서 전투를 하게 되는데, 페이지에 들어갈 때마다 양쪽에 새로운 몬스터를 소환을 하게 되고, 그에 따라서 보스의 스킬도 페이지마다 점점 다른 스킬로 변경이 되게 됩니다. 굉장히 좀 복잡하고 어려울 수 있는 스킬 구성이지만은 소환사 여러분들은 잘 해내실 거라 믿습니다.
이 보스를 잡게 되면 고대 룬이나 고대 연성석, 고대 연마석 보석이라는 새로운 아이템을 획득할 수 있습니다. 이번 고대 룬을 추가하게 되면서 저희가 많이 고민한 부분이 있어요. 기존 룬에 대한 가치를 훼손하진 않는지, 기존 파밍 구조를 해치진 않는지, 마지막으로 소환사 여러분들에게 그 스트레스를 많이 주진 않는지에 대해서 크게 3가지에 대해서 걱정을 많이 했는데, 고대 룬이 업데이트 된다고 해서 기존 룬을 다 대체하진 않을 거예요. 그러기 위해서 저희가 수치적인 밸런스를 되게 조심스럽게 했었고요. 제한적으로 획득할 수 있어서 여기서 충분히 돌다가 제한된 횟수를 다 소모하면 기존의 카이로스 2개 던전, 2개 레이드도 여전히 중요한 파밍 장소가 될 것입니다. 이 차각성은 태생 2, 3성 몬스터를 대상으로 진행하게 되는데요. 서비스 초기에는 이런 태생 2, 3성 몬스터들도 소환사 여러분들의 사랑을 많이 받았고 많이 쓰였거든요. 이런 좀 예전에 불헤라운드가 아레나에서 쓰인다거나, 예전보다 지금은 좀 많이 그런 관계가 좀 없어지지 않았나, 그런 거에서 좀 아쉬움이 있었고, 그래서 어떻게 하면 이런 태생 2, 3성 몬스터들과 지금 소환사 여러분들이 애착을 가질 수 있을까에 대해서 고민을 많이 했었고, 그러려면 좀 애들이 좀 더 멋있어지고 좀 유용해지면 태생 2, 3성 몬스터를 좀 더 사랑해 주지 않을까 라는 생각에서 2차 각성을 기획하게 되었습니다.
2차 각성을 작업할 때 스토리나 컨셉 이런 것도 중요하지만, 일단 비주얼적으로 봤을 때 이건 유저들이 이건 각성해야 돼 이런 느낌이 들 수 있게 작업을 하려고 굉장히 노력을 했고요. 형상 변환 같은 경우에는 이전에 보지 못했던 어떤 신박한 컨셉이나 재치 있는 어떤 새로운 컨셉을 입혀서 이렇게 캐릭터를 매력적으로 만들었다면 2차 각성에서는 그 캐릭터가 원래 가지고 있었던 유저들이 매력적으로 느꼈던 그런 부분들을 더 부각시켜서 더 아름다운 캐릭터, 더 세 보이는 캐릭터를 만들려고 노력했습니다. 페어리한테 약간 자연적이고 마법적인 어떤 영험한 느낌을 주고 싶었어요. 그래서 꽃잎 날개와 꽃이 엮어진 듯한 느낌의 마법진을 이렇게 같이 붙여줬거든요. 그래서 상냥한 숲의 주인 같은 이미지로 완성하게 되었습니다. 페어리 말고도 픽시, 이누가미, 워베어가 더 강해지고 멋있어진 모습으로 소환사님들을 기다리고 있으니까요. 많은 기대 부탁드립니다.
우연히 사무실을 돌아다니던 중에 2차 각성이 된 이누가미 작업물을 보게 되었고 그 이누가미를 보자마자 아 멋있다. 2차 각성 던전의 보스는 이 이누가미로 하면 정말 멋있을 것 같다라는 생각에 이 기획이 시작되었습니다. 이 2차 각성 던전의 보스는 차원 던전과 다르게 2차 각성된 몬스터가 더욱더 주인공이 되어야 한다는 생각이 들었고 그래서 양쪽에 뭔가 이 2차 각성 몬스터의 스킬을 더욱 빛나게 할 수 있는 기믹이나 오브젝트를 구성하게 되었습니다. 하지만 꼭 이 던전의 보스만이 그 주인공은 아닙니다. 예를 들어 이누가미 2차 각성 던전에 입장하기 위해서는 소환사 여러분의 이누가미가 필수로 입장해야 합니다. 결국 소환사 여러분의 몬스터도 이 던전 안에서는 주인공이 되는 것이죠.
네, 이번 업데이트에서 크게 중점을 둔 부분은 뭐 예전과 마찬가지로 재미고요. 소환사 여러분들이 재밌게 즐기고 많은 경험을 했으면 좋겠습니다.
서머너즈워가 5주년을 맞이했는데요. 계속 재밌게 즐겨주신 분들께 감사드리며
애정을 가지고 키우던 몬스터가 2차 각성을 통해 새로운 몬스터로 탄생하는 순간을 꼭 경험해보세요.
네, 이번 업데이트는 차원호를 통해 새로운 차원으로 이동하게 된 소환사들이 겪는 모험과 전투를 담고 있습니다. 차르커 유적 전투 후 천국 외에는 새로 발견된 고대 유적에 대한 조사를 하게 되는데요. 그 조사 과정에서 다른 차원으로 이동할 수 있는 차원호를 발견하게 됩니다. 차원호를 통해서 다른 차원에 대한 탐사를 진행하게 되지만 미지의 존재와 맞닥뜨리게 되면서 난관에 봉착하게 됩니다. 이를 해결하기 위해서 소환사분들에게 새로운 차원에 대한 조사를 의뢰하게 되고요. 소환사분들은 차원을 통해서 다른 차원으로 떠나게 됩니다.
최초에 업데이트되는 차원홀은 총 2개의 차원으로 구성되어 있고요. 카르잔이라는 야수의 차원과 엘루미아라는 요정의 차원으로 구성되어 있습니다. 두 지역 다 기존 시나리오 지역과는 좀 다른 느낌을 주려고 노력을 했고 차원홀만의 좀 독특한 세계관들을 좀 만들어내려고 좀 작업을 진행했습니다. 예를 들어서 요정의 차원 같은 경우에는 페어리랑 픽시, 이들이 살 수 있는 좀 신비롭고 몽환적인 느낌, 그리고 좀 빛이나 좀 폭포, 물, 그리고 좀 독특한 오브젝트들을 좀 사용해서 그리려고 좀 했고요. 이누가미와 워베어가 살고 있는 야수 차원은 좀 짙은 녹색, 그리고 갈색, 좀 이렇게 밀린 울창한 느낌으로 컨셉을 진행했습니다.
각 차원마다 각기 다른 모습의 보스들을 만날 수 있는데요. 그 보스들은 그 차원 환경에 맞춰서 진화를 했다는 설정을 가지고 시작을 했습니다. 요정 차원 같은 경우에는 아무래도 좀 더 여성적이고 주변에 있는 예쁜 색깔이라든지 오브젝트들을 이용을 해가지고 좀 아름다움을 표현을 하려고 노력을 했습니다. 야수 차원의 보스 같은 경우에는 유저들이 이 보스를 만났을 때 굉장히 압도적인 느낌을 받았으면 좋겠다라고 생각하면서 작업을 했습니다. 각 차원의 분위기가 다른 만큼 보스들의 디자인도 완전히 상반되기 때문에 각기 다른 재미와 매력을 느낄 수 있을 거라고 생각합니다.
고대 가디언의 스킬 구성에 있어서 가장 중점을 두었던 사항은 새로운 보스와 전투를 할 때 좀 새로운 느낌이 되었으면 좋겠다라는 점에서 먼저 시작을 하게 되었습니다. 이렇게 한 30-40번 정도 스킬 구성이 드랍되다 보니까 좀 약간 오기가 좀 생긴 것도 있고 정말 아예 판을 좀 깨보자 약간 이런 생각을 해본 것도 있어서 접근 방식을 좀 다르게 해봤습니다. 뭔가 양쪽에 기믹이나 이제 오브젝트가 있는 것이 아니라 보스 자체가 소환사처럼 양쪽에 특별한 몬스터들을 소환을 해서 전투를 진행하는 것을 컨셉으로 생각을 시작하였습니다. 고대 가디언은 총 3페이지에 걸쳐서 전투를 하게 되는데 페이지에 들어갈 때마다 양쪽에 새로운 몬스터를 소환을 하게 되고 그에 따라서 보스의 스킬도 페이지마다 점점 다른 스킬로 변경이 되게 됩니다. 굉장히 좀 복잡하고 어려울 수 있는 스킬 구성이지만은 소환사 여러분들은 잘 해내실 거라 믿습니다.
이 보스를 잡게 되면 고대 룬이나 고대 연성석, 고대 연마석 보석이라는 새로운 아이템을 획득할 수 있습니다. 이번 고대 룬을 추가하게 되면서 저희가 많이 고민한 부분이 있어요. 기존 룬에 대한 가치를 훼손하진 않는지, 기존 파밍 구조를 해치진 않는지, 마지막으로 소환사 여러분들에게 그 스트레스를 많이 주진 않는지에 대해서 크게 세 가지에 대해서 걱정을 많이 했는데 고대 룬이 업데이트 된다고 해서 기존 룬을 다 대체하진 않을 거예요. 그러기 위해서 저희가 수치적인 밸런스를 되게 조심스럽게 했었고요. 제한적으로 획득할 수 있어서 여기서 충분히 돌다가 이 제한된 횟수를 다 소모하면 기존의 카이로스 2개 던전, 2개 레이드도 여전히 중요한 파밍 장소가 될 것입니다. 이 차각성은 태생 2, 3성 몬스터를 대상으로 진행하게 되는데요. 서비스 초기에는 이런 태생 2, 3성 몬스터들도 소환사 여러분들의 사랑을 많이 받았고 많이 쓰였거든요. 이런 좀 예전에 불헤라운드가 아레나에서 쓰인다거나 예전보다 지금은 좀 많이 그런 관계가 좀 없어지지 않았나 그런 거에서 좀 아쉬움이 있었고 그래서 어떻게 하면 이런 태생 2, 3성 몬스터들과 지금 소환사 여러분들이 애착을 가질 수 있을까에 대해서 고민을 많이 했었고 그러려면 좀 애들이 좀 더 멋있어지고 좀 유용해지면 태생 2, 3성 몬스터를 좀 더 사랑해 주지 않을까 라는 생각에서 2차 각성을 기획하게 되었습니다.
2차 각성을 작업할 때 스토리나 컨셉 이런 것도 중요하지만 일단 비주얼적으로 봤을 때 이건 유저들이 이건 각성해야 돼 이런 느낌이 들 수 있게 작업을 하려고 굉장히 노력을 했고요. 형상 변환 같은 경우에는 이전에 보지 못했던 어떤 신박한 컨셉이나 재치 있는 어떤 새로운 컨셉을 입혀서 이렇게 캐릭터를 매력적으로 만들었다면 2차 각성에서는 그 캐릭터가 원래 가지고 있었던 유저들이 매력적으로 느꼈던 그런 부분들을 더 부각시켜서 더 아름다운 캐릭터, 더 세 보이는 캐릭터를 만들려고 노력했습니다. 페어리한테 약간 자연적이고 마법적인 어떤 영험한 느낌을 주고 싶었어요. 그래서 꽃잎 날개와 꽃이 엮어진 듯한 느낌의 마법진을 이렇게 같이 붙여줬거든요. 그래서 상냥한 숲의 주인 같은 이미지로 완성하게 되었습니다. 페어리 말고도 픽시, 이누가미, 워베어가 더 강해지고 멋있어진 모습으로 소환사님들을 기다리고 있으니까요. 많은 기대 부탁드립니다.
우연히 사무실을 돌아다니던 중에 2차각성이 된 이노가미 작업물을 보게 되었고 그 이노가미를 보자마자 아 멋있다. 2차각성 던전의 보스는 이 이노가미로 하면 정말 멋있을 것 같다라는 생각에 이 기획이 시작되었습니다. 이 2차각성 던전의 보스는 차원 던전과 다르게 2차각성된 몬스터가 더욱더 주인공이 되어야 한다는 생각이 들었고 그래서 양쪽에 뭔가 이 2차각성 몬스터의 스킬을 더욱 빛나게 할 수 있는 기믹이나 오브젝트를 구성하게 되었습니다. 하지만 꼭 이 던전의 보스만이 그 주인공은 아닙니다. 예를 들어 이노가미 2차 각성 던전에 입장하기 위해서는 소환사 여러분의 이노가미가 필수로 입장해야 합니다. 결국 소환사 여러분의 몬스터도 이 던전 안에서는 주인공이 되는 것이죠.
네, 이번 업데이트에서 크게 중점을 둔 부분은 뭐 예전과 마찬가지로 재미고요. 소환사 여러분들이 재밌게 즐기고 많은 경험을 했으면 좋겠습니다.
서머너즈워가 5주년을 맞이했는데요. 계속 재밌게 즐겨주신 분들께 감사드리며
애정을 가지고 키우던 몬스터가 2차 각성을 통해 새로운 몬스터로 탄생하는 순간을 꼭 경험해보세요.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Summoners War World Championship 2019 Asia Pacific Group Stage Group B qualifiers. I think I got everything there. My name is Rapid, and I'm here with my good friend Peter. I'm the pinky to his brain, and we are getting ready for a fantastic day in Group B, where we're going to be featuring some of the best Japanese Summoners War players in SWC.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of firing off right now, wrapping it all down. You didn't even take a breath there. I'm impressed, man.
Well, I mean, when you choose the ID Rapid, I feel like you really have to live up to the hype here. So if you're not used to any of my casting, I've been living out here in Korea for about 3 years so far. And while this is not my first time casting Summoners War, I was actually reading chat and seeing that for a lot of people watching, it is your first time watching SWC. So don't worry, we'll try to make it a little bit more accessible. And one of the ways we're going to do that is by going over the overview of kind of what the SWC format looks like this year. You can see we're starting off with our preliminaries. We've finished that stage, and now we're moving on to the group stage, where we choose 2 players from each one of our groups to advance on to the regionals, which will be happening a little bit later on. That's right, Rapid. You're super cool for saying all that information. So we don't know exactly what the regionals are going to look like because we haven't qualified all of the players, but these group stages are going on all over the world. If you guys are watching some of the qualifiers from the European or Americas region, then you've seen totally different strategies. Nobody knows what to expect. And today, we're going to be going through Group B. We've got more information for you guys on that group right now. Wow, our production team is so on top of things here. Group B is going to feature the best players from Japan. If you missed Group A, you can still go back and watch it on the Summoners War Esports YouTube channel, where we qualified Lucky God and Per from South Korea, and now we're moving on to Group B featuring Japan.
Yeah, and you can see there the list of players. There's going to be Matsu, there's Toro, there's Yuki and UT. A lot of really strong players that we are accustomed to seeing in top RTA. So these matches are going to be really packed with high-level draft and picks, as well as high-level plays. So it's going to be a pleasure to watch.
That's right. We were just looking through some of our player bios, and we'll get a chance to highlight those in detail in just a second. But UT10, very, very highly ranked player. I think the highest one that we had today. So let's actually go ahead and take a look at some of our players. Matsu, you can see, I think, a lot of very, very standard. This is basically not quite your just top 5 right down the list of your most chosen RTA monsters, but I don't know what he's going to bring out today. These are just most popular picks for him in RTA.
Yeah, I mean, definitely Matsu, he's got that Yunhong, meaning he's definitely going to be utilizing that in RTA whenever he can, as well as the Hathor Gani combo, Franverd, very, very standard picks. And then his go-to bans actually tend to be Bastet sometimes, as well as Cierra, Tiana, meaning he does not like getting bruised down.
Yeah, he also, for some reason, banned Ragdoll. I don't know why he would do that. I'm still, it's a mystery to me.
Yeah, I mean, Ragdoll's such a trash monster, right?
Honestly, every time we see a player that doesn't have Ragdoll in their most ban, I'm just like, wait, you just like don't like winning games? I don't know. But here is UT10. We were talking about him a lot. Very highly ranked 13 this season.
Yeah, I mean, UT, this guy, every time I pull him in the RTA, he literally kind of claps me. So I know he's a very, very good player. He also has a Yunhong in there, just like Matsu does. And he also does not like dealing with Cierra and Tiana here. And actually, most of his bans are going to be a lot of DPS, as well as the Fran, who allows damage to happen.
Right. It's important to not just ban the damage dealers. You gotta ban a lot of their enablers too. And sometimes, especially if you're trying to protect yourself from any niche comps like any of the cleave we might have coming up, there's a lot to look forward to there. So, you know, Yuki, I think might be another one of our more standard players, but there's a lot of variation, especially once we move on to the rest of the players here, because I don't know exactly what to expect, because this only gives us a general outlook. It doesn't tell exactly what their specific strategies are going to be for today.
Yeah, but Yuki, you can see here that he actually likes to utilize that Molong in there, which is going to be a unit that players have to play around, as well as now we're moving on to TOROROKING, and this guy is also using that Molong in the comp, and not just the Molong, but he has all the combos in there that makes Molong shine. This is actually like a Barian comp.
So that's what's so interesting about this to me. It also includes, we were talking about this a little bit earlier, Tableau there at the end. I don't think I've seen that featured in any of our Asia Pacific SWC group stage players lists. So what's up with that?
So Tableau, he allows this team to get 2 turns before the opponent moves as long as you're faster. And with the Jamaya refresh there, that means that you can get your combo off twice in 1 turn, and which is why he's such an enabler for this team. You usually don't see him picked very often because there are some better speed lead alternatives like Cierra and stuff like that, but we're going to get to see more about that once we get into the matches.
I really hope we do. And speaking of the matches, this is a look at our bracket featuring our players and our games for today. If you're not familiar with this format, it makes a lot of sense. Basically, the winners play the winners until we advance 1 player out first, and then we go through the losers bracket because this is double elimination and have that final last chance to qualify as the second player from Group B. So I don't know exactly what to expect. I think the great thing about Summoner's War is that absolutely anything can happen. There could be some crazy upsets today. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing which player will advance out in first place and then which player can hang on and advance out there in the very end.
Yeah, I mean, last time we saw in the Korean matches how crazy these matches can go. It's super fast sometimes, just 2-0, 2-0, 2-0. What do you want to see today? Do you want to see a lot of 2-0s or more, back and forth?
I mean, I think everybody likes watching the really close games, but as somebody who is attempting to climb just ever so slowly, I think cleave is the way to go. So I really hope that we just get the cheesiest comps that you could possibly see. Our first matchup is going to be Matsu versus UT10, and these are probably our 2 most similar players as far as playstyle goes.
Yeah, I mean, literally just look at their most picked monsters, and that does the speaking for you. Like, the 4 monsters on that list are exactly the same. The only difference is going to be Josephine and Verthal, which they're both probably going to pick depending on situation. So when these 2 fight, they're going to be banning out each other's units, contesting each other for that Yeonhung and Hathor and etc. It's going to be very, very interesting to watch them because basically whoever has better brain wins.
Bigger brain. Well, yeah, definitely some Galaxy brain plays in store for us today. I would say specifically the Vertihel. I mean, if you rewound this to SWC 2018, everything looks totally different. Also, I think maybe some of the Molongs make a little bit more sense that we saw from some of our other players. And while we take a second to get into our first game, I'm actually really excited because, when I was, first playing this game, like I'm sure you were, a long time ago, before RTA even existed, it was just such a new and exciting, different world. And while we fast forwarded a few years since then, even just in the past year, so much has changed about this, the way that this game is played. Even just last week, we saw Beat D, the former world champion, come in, and he has had to adapt so much since everything has changed just in this past year. So I have no idea what to expect from our players today.
Yeah, I mean, you just came back to the game recently, and you're just seeing all the new stuff, right? It's crazy overwhelming. The game has been evolving so fast, and now we're gonna get into match number 1 here with Matsu versus UT.
Okay, so if you're new to watching the group stage or just new to Summoner's War in general, we start things off with a pick and ban phase. Well, it's like a ban-pick-ban phase. So we got the pre-ban out of the way. I don't think that's going to surprise anyone.
Yeah, I mean, Yeonhung pre-ban coming out of Matsu here because he does not want UT to take that Yeonhung on the first pick. So what UT does in response is he locks in that Ganymede first pick. So now UT, he's going to go ahead and answer that by picking Cierra and Fran. Now, what is UT going to do here to deal with this high damage and also immunity/sustain composition?
Well, I mean, the biggest combo that I think a lot of people would expect here is Hathor. I think that makes a lot of sense, just comboing together. But, okay, wow. I was rubbing my crystal ball while I was talking there.
Yeah, I mean, you completely nailed it on the spot. He does go with the Hathor just like you predicted, and then he follows up with the Vertihel, which is a unit that really, really enables Gany and Hathor to become even more of a monster than they already are. So Matsu right now, he's definitely going to be thinking about how to shut this down. And he says, you know what? I have a lot of damage through Cierra and Fran right now, so let's put in the Daphnis as well as a Tiana to protect my damage dealers.
I'm glad you can tell me the difference between Ganymede and Daphnis because our screen is a little bit far away today, so I'm squinting really hard. I'm like, okay, well, yeah, there we go. But I think what is really most surprising is these final last 2 picks.
Wow. Wait, no way he picks that. No way.
His finger
UT?
slipped on the board when he was selecting his monster.
UT, hello, bro. Did you see?
Yeah, I didn't. I told you the last 2 picks were going to be the most surprising. I don't think that is a difficult analysis to make. What just happened here? I can't wait to break this down during the game.
Yeah, so what UT is doing right now is he puts in the Eladriel, who got buffed very recently, to deal with the super heavy damage coming out of Matsu so that the Daphnis and Cierra cannot perform as well as they normally would. So now it's going to be very interesting to see if Matsu is going to actually go ahead and ban the Eladriel here because it is such a counter to his Daphnis, or will he actually let the Eladriel through and we'll finally get to see a Eladriel for the first time in any of these tourneys.
So yeah, Eladriel buffed and coming back better than ever. Let's see. Wow, it's not banned. We get a chance to see Eladriel. We're already starting out with a totally crazy game 1. Oh my god. All right. Well, I mean, I guess we'll get a chance to see what it looks like because, I mean, how many people get experience with this? This is just not something you see every day.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. But Matsu, he did go ahead and pick up the Okeanos last pick there.
Right.
Meaning he's going to be able to reset the Eladriel, preventing the revive from happening. So key to Matsu's draft right now is going to be whether or not he can land that reset. But actually, he might have to just reset the Ganymede at the same time, though, unless he busts out the big brain plays. Maybe he resets the Eladriel and then goes ahead and one-shots the Ganymede with the Daphnis, because that Fran actually moves in front of Daphnis, meaning with the attack buff and armor break, Ganymede is gone right on turn 1.
Yeah, that Ganymede, the armor break there. Wait, what? No way.
With attack buff and it still survives. That is
through armor break. Like what? Okay, I guess that sliver of HP, I can't even see that on our screen. I'm somehow still alive. I don't even know.
Yeah, that's going to be really unfortunate for Matsu there. UT's rune quality really shining in there. Now, I did not see if UT went ahead and chose a 50% HP leader, but if he did that, that is the reason why he survived. Now, Matsu's combo is literally just gonna have to be held down. Like, what can he do right now?
Right, you rely so much on getting that OTK, and with it just not coming through, the Archangel's Blessing, getting that heal off. We're trying to get that kill off again. I mean, obviously, with Oki CCing everybody, that's kind of doing what Oki does best, but like, I mean, now you've got to kind of make do with what you have, still trying to get that first kill.
Yeah, I mean, right now, he's been able to come back with the Okeanos providing the stun, buying himself some time, as well as the Fran's huge sustain, allowing Tiana to not get shut down just yet, but he needs to keep up this onslaught of healing and CC, because otherwise UT is about to lap right now with the Vertihowl and Ethna there. That is so much attack bar.
Yeah, and building that up, this just gets better and better for UT now that he's been able to hold on against the initial burst. He's been able to sustain through everything, and the longer this game goes, the worse it's looking for Matsu.
Yeah, but he gets that Fran proc there. He's thinking if he's going to heal. He chooses not to. He's going to save it for the next turn. And now Daphnis, you can see on the screen there that he's going to have the third skill up soon, which is definitely going to be a big, big help to Matsu. However, the Eladriel still has not used Revive, and with the Gani combo here, he can... Oh, he did reuse the Revive. My bad, I didn't see that. But with the Gani there, he can still have it back up again. So what Matsu needs to do is play really, really smart right now around the cooltimes of this Eladriel and somehow focus everything down with the CC while getting the kills as well.
Yeah, I don't think it's any mystery that Ganymede is strong, but I think specifically here just means that you're going to be able to get that revive back up again. And I'm just waiting to see, like, how do you win from this position as Matsu? Because he was never able to get that early kill in the first place. And now even if he does get a KO here in just a couple turns, it's not going to matter because the revive will come back up again.
Well, what Matsu needs to do right now is really shut down this Gani and Eladriel combo. While Eladriel's revive is down right now, he wants to go ahead and take down this Ganymede first so that there's no infinite revive. Let's see if he actually chooses to go ahead and skill 3 something here, or if he's just going to skill 1 the Gani. He's thinking about it, and he decides actually, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and kill off your Ethna, and then I'm just gonna finish off Ganny with my other monsters. However, UT has that heal ready to go on that Ganymede. So now what Ganny is gonna do is he is going to use Ventilate on the Eladriel. So basically, there's more healing and revive again.
Right. I think you're going to see that be a kind of a common theme here for at least as long as this goes on, is just keep venting the Eladriel, and then, like you said, you just get so much more value out of that really weird pick. I did not see that coming in. There it is, Revive coming back up again. I thought you wanted to kill one of my monsters. I'm not sure. Did you kill? I can't tell. They're all back alive.
Yeah, I mean, it's just too funny to me, this match, because Matsu is like, hey, I have a one-shotting team comp. I'm a one-punch man, so he's just like punching everything down. But then Eladriel is there just like, oh, you killed me? Well, welcome back. And it just keeps going back and forth. Like, when is this gonna end? Who's gonna be able to get more killings off here, or who's gonna be able to get more revives off here? That is pretty much what this game is.
Well, I mean, every 4 turns, we're just going to see vent, and you're just going to keep the revives coming. Now, honestly, when you look at the health of the overall, HP, it's definitely not looking as good for UT10, but I think there's a bigger story here. It's not just about that, because obviously those health bars keep coming back when you get the revives off, and I mean, we haven't seen Eladriel drop yet.
Yeah, but right now, Matsu, he's really trying to kill that Ganny.
That sliver of HP. Like, what is that? Just, is he holding a focus sash? Like, I don't know. He just can't die.
Yeah, I mean, that Ganymede, man, I swear to God, it must be on like triple HP percent with like 40% HP subs on each rune, because this thing, man, it's like a pesky little bug. It refuses to die. However, it was not able to ventilate the Eladriel this time. This Ethna actually gonna go ahead and use the second skill there, landing some good armor breaks as well as a stun on Tiana. So now, how is UT gonna capitalize off of this moment right here? Who is he gonna go for with that skill 3?
It's a big decision. Burning out and
wow,
gets it.
Wow, that's a huge nuke coming out of that Ethna. Almost finishes off the Fran. It also procced the Tiana passive, meaning that the dot can kill. But let's see if he goes ahead and lets it die to the dot. Okay, so he chooses to go for the extra DPS on Daphnis because he knows the Fran is dead. Now Daphnis is going to take him down. It seems like the Eladriel combo is working.
This is exactly where that turnaround has finally happened. We're in the end game now, and I think that UT10 is finally realizing just the brilliance of his composition here. It's just going from bad to worse for Matsu. I don't think there's any way to turn this around.
Yeah, I mean, Matsu just completely got shut down by this Eladriel here. There's really not much you can do at this point, because even if he kills another thing, guess what? Eladriel got a buff, and now he will revive every single thing on the team. So he wants to keep that Eladriel reset it down, but this Okeanos really needs to be on Violent Runes. Then maybe he can look for a comeback. The Vertihal right now going to deal massive damage onto that Oki. I believe UT should be going for the stun there, and he gets it. This is looking really, really grim for Matsu. And he concedes.
That's going to do it. I don't think it was a mystery to us who was going to win there in the end. The only 1-on-3 comeback I think I've seen in recent days is like, I think last week in North America group stage, there was a Samath 1v3 comeback because he dies and then he does a bunch of damage on revive, and I was just like, wow, that was a really sick comeback. I didn't see that coming, but not Oki. He was pretty dead at that point. I don't blame him for going for the concede.
Yeah, I mean, Okeanos not a unit with a lot of damage and comeback potential like Samath, but we're getting into match 2 right now. There you can see the previous match pre-bans. There was Vanessa and Yeonhong pre-ban, meaning those units will not get banned this time. And that means we might actually be seeing some Yeonhong picks here this time, so we shall see how that affects the draft. We're going to go ahead and get that Hathor and Diana pre-banned out of them, and now, is the first pick player actually going to just go ahead and take the Yeonhong? Or are they going to take the Ganny? This will be very interesting to see.
I think those are definitely going to be the hotly contested picks. I don't expect to see the Ganny taken away. I think, honestly, the Yeonhong, it was banned last time, so why not just pick it now that it's open?
Yeah, sounds pretty good to me as well. Matsu going to take that Yeonhong away from UT. Yeonhong is such a great support that allows her team to really, really shine. And now what UT does this time is he goes ahead and takes that Fran with the Ganny this time. So Matsu, what are you going to take now that your Ganny and Hathor is gone? He goes back to the Cierra, and maybe he'll pull out something new like UT did here. I don't believe... Oh, I was gonna say I don't believe that Matsu's gonna pull out the Daphnis right off the bat because we saw UT counter that so well with the Eladriel.
Yeah.
But he still goes ahead and locks that in. So UT right now, he's gonna be thinking about pulling out his boy Eladriel again. But what is he gonna do this time? You know?
So I'm guessing that Matsu didn't expect Eladriel to just like super ultra hard counter as much as it did. Now, obviously, we're not seeing that this time around, but taking the Vertihel, I think that still warrants inclusion. Although I guess UT is coming up with something different here. I wonder what Matsu is going to do to keep what happened in Game 1 from happening again.
Well, Matsu right now, he's definitely going to be afraid of the Eladriel last pick coming out of UT. However, if UT takes the Eladriel this time, that means that if his Vertihel is banned out, he has almost zero carry potential in his team comp. So,
Right, what's your win condition at that point?
Yeah, so I don't believe he's going to be taking the Eladriel here. Now, Matsu does something very, very weird and pulls out the Amelia when UT doesn't really have too much debuffs. So I do kind of question that last pick coming out of Matsu. But it still means that he's going to be able to prevent the Gani from resetting stuff. So we'll see how that pick works out for him. And UT making the smart plays. He pulls out a threat. Now he's got that double threat with Perna and Vertihel, meaning it's going to be harder for Matsu to make a ban now. And actually, he does it right off the bat, takes out the Tiana, and UT bans out the Yunhong.
I think the Younghung ban was coming regardless because the change to SWC 2019 is that you can't consecutively ban the same monster, but you can post-ban it. So, you know, you're still going to have that opportunity to get that ban out there. Clearly something that UT does not want to deal with at all, and I can't blame him.
Yeah, and now something really, really interesting to keep in mind here is that Matsu right now, he kind of has a free reign with the Daphnis this time, meaning if he takes out a unit on turn 1, it has no chance whatsoever of coming back. Now, he's going to be thinking about whether he wants to go for the Fran or the Gani first. He goes for the Fran, and this time...
Disgusting. I mean, what are you going to do? There's no Eladriel to save her. So that is an easy turn 1 KO, and I think this is Matsu's game plan. It looks a lot better this time around.
Yeah, so this time the Fran will not be coming back. Ganymede, he opts to use the third skill on the pony. Wait, did he DC? Like,
so in what situation is that a good move? Because obviously you're super buffed up. You don't have a lot of weakness at that point. Why do you go for like pony's not the most I guess high priority there. So what's confusing about that?
The only, like, it had immunity on it, meaning it cannot get anything done. Literally, Gani did nothing there. So very questionable move there. However, this Perna and Vertihel combo is still going to be dishing out massive DPS onto that Cierra. So UT definitely still has a shot here. He's going to go ahead and try to get some crits off of the Gani. Now, Ganymede, he has a choice of using Ventilate, but of course he's not going to do it because there is nothing to ventilate on his team unless the Perna dies. Vertihel, it's going to hang on.
How long is this guy going to be alive? I feel like the theme of today is just like you think that you're going to get the KO and it just doesn't come through. Finally, the revive being forced out.
God. Yeah, that proc from Perna, that is so huge. It's going to go ahead and shut out the Cierra. And also, it healed up the Vertihel, who was at 1 HP just now, and he lives again. This UT guy, he has triple HP on everything.
There is no justice in this world, Peter. I'm just waiting for... I mean, I guess, you know, vampires are undead anyway, right? They just live forever.
Yeah, and this is really the epitome of that undying vampire here. I would say it just applies to UT in general because that is like the 4th time he's done that today.
It's not just vampires. Like, Vertihel is maybe giving some buffs to everybody else. Finally, justice is served. Vertihel is out of there. It's the 2-on-3. How much of a carry can Perna be here? Is there still hope for UT10?
I believe that with the Gani Perna combo, UT still has a chance, but he needs to somehow keep this Gani alive through all that Daphnis DPS. So if he can actually get some more procs on the Perna and take out the Daphnis, I believe UT can still actually pull off the victory, but that freeze from Amelia gonna shut down the Perna. Things are not looking good for UT right now. He needs that Perna to proc.
Yeah, he really does. And also to be able to take a turn at any point, that would be nice. And I think it makes a lot of sense to go for that proc. When you get it, like we saw, Perna totally shut down, and he gets the proc again.
Yeah, he freezes the Perna again.
Oh my
he tried to
goodness.
reset the Perna there so that he can actually go ahead and take it out with the Ganny, but once again, UT10, you might as well change your name to UT1 because you always live with 1 HP. He takes out the Ganny, and now Perna without Ventilate, it's going to be much harder for her to carry alone, but one-shot it.
Yeah, say that sentence about hard to carry alone or something, Peter. I'm not sure I heard you. And I know Perna didn't hear you because she's back to one-shot full. So I hope that there's the potential for a comeback here. Let's find out. Okay, no, never mind.
Perna, no way she's going to come back here. She's too squishy. Vanessa is too tanky with that defense buff as well. So Perna's going to go down, and Matsu is actually going to go ahead and take out the victory on round 2.
So Matsu with the comeback here, Peter. I'm glad that this is a close series to start off the day. What was really the turning point there? Because it seemed like UT10, he was hanging on forever.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the turnaround for Matsu there, the reason why he was able to win was because he was able to utilize that daftness this time, whereas last round he couldn't because of the Eladriel.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, so he just basically started the game off with the 4v3, basically a free advantage. And not only on top of that, like, UT couldn't shut down that daftness at all until late game. So that daftness constantly were able to move, get even the second round of that skill 3 off. So I feel like daftness was a big reason why Matsu was able to win that.
Yeah, so a huge win there for Matsu to keep us in our first game. Obviously, both of our players want to start off in the winner's round. It really sucks to drop down to losers and have to work your way back with your back up against the wall. So let's see which player is going to advance from our first game of the day. We're pre-banning, and I think things are going to look a lot like round 1.
Yeah, exactly. There's the Vanessa and Yeonhung ban, just like the round 1. Now, UT is going to go ahead and pick up the Ganymede first pick,
right?
Meaning Matsu can actually respond with something I feel a very standard response would be like a Fran and Hathor. And I get it right on the money.
Well, you got your crystal ball working too. So, yeah, Fran Hathor, I think taking the Hathor away to prevent that very strong combo makes a lot of sense here. I'm just curious whether or not UT10 has another one of these like weird counter picks that is going to surprise Matsu, because he clearly could not deal with that at all in game 1.
Yeah, so right now what UT is doing, rather than pulling out something super surprising, he's just going to go ahead and take away that Cierra from Matsu, because Matsu has been picking that 2 games in a row. And he also locks in that Vertihal, which is a fantastic combo with any unit in the game pretty much. Now Matsu, for the 3rd time in a row, gonna opt for that daftness. He really likes that unit. Now what is he gonna do to finish off his lineup?
Let's see. I guess there's a bunch of different ways to go here. Obviously, what you want to do is not telegraph the direction you're going until the very, very end. But I don't know. How much has Matsu given away here at this point?
I feel like Matsu still has a very hard to read draft, because depending on what the last pick is, if he brings another high DPS unit.
Oh man, we're going back to it again. I'm so happy that we have a unique pick here in our first game. Eladriel coming back, and I wonder if Matsu is going to make an adjustment here on the last pick.
Yeah, I mean, Matsu, I was about to say that he could pick another damage dealer, but seeing that Eladriel in there, he probably might have considered Okeanos, because UT has no immunity whatsoever, meaning it would be such a counter to his team, as well as a reset for the Eladriel. But UT with the big brain plays actually takes away the Okeanos from Matsu, meaning that Matsu is under so much pressure right now, he doesn't have a way to reset the Eladriel. Not only that, his daftness can get resetted by the Oki, but Matsu here opting for the Juno, which is a unit I don't like. I feel like she's very similar to Rakuni in the sense that she is not very reliable. And if I was UT, honestly, I think I would just ban out the Daphnis or Hathor, because those are the hard carries of that lineup.
Right.
Yeah, and right now there's some delay going on the bans, but we'll soon be able to see what the bans are. UT taking out that
Cierra.
taking out that friend, and
and
Matsu gonna go ahead and take away the Okeanos, which is very interesting. I feel like Juno was in there literally to counter Okeanos. Like, I really don't understand that pick, and he just banned Oki. So Juno pick.
I don't understand it. Yeah, when you go for that ban too, I really like that UT stole the Oki away from Matsu, but you know, I guess you're doing that so that your opponent will ban it, then why do you go Juno? There's this whole weird triangle of counters that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
Yeah, but maybe actually Matsu is a crazy smart dude and he's seen the future. He knows this Juno is gonna proc Despair 50% of the time. So we'll see if that happens. Daphnis right now gonna get that first turn. He's gonna go for the snipe on Ganymede. We know that's not going to kill because UT has such a tanky Ganymede. And now, what is Matsu gonna do? Like, that was literally his biggest damage dealing skill in the game. But he still has a Hathor there because UT did not ban it while not having immunity. So UT is in a bit of a dire strait right now. The Cierra is alone there trying to handle everything by herself. Like, don't worry guys, you guys take a good nap. I'll handle everything. The 1v4, I'll make it happen. So what Matsu actually does there is wakes up the Ganymede because he just wants to go ahead and take it out.
Okay, I guess that does make a lot of sense, but man, killing this Ganymede is almost impossible. I mean, it does help that the rest of the team is asleep on the job, but I'm still waiting to see anything kill this Ganymede. I don't believe that it's actually technically possible, but here we go. We're gonna find out.
1 HP.
No way.
UT1 strikes again. Now Cierra gonna get some attack bar there.
Yeah, obviously that's good, but I mean, we're still ticking away. It's literally a time bomb, and I'm waiting to see for when UT wants to make a comeback here, because it seems like this is kind of his method of play. It's like you drop down early on, you barely save your Ganymede, and then you hit back hard. It hasn't happened just yet, but it's only a couple turns away.
Yeah, I mean, right now is a chance where UT finally gets to move on his team. The Ganymede is going to go ahead and get taken down here, but that is no big worry for UT because he's going to be able to bring it right back up. Now, landing that attack break on Cierra is huge because that's going to help keep her bombs on low damage. Tiana still has her passive up. She's going to have that second skill available as well. UT really wants to shut down this Tiana before she gets troublesome.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's definitely the highest priority. I'm still waiting to see that revive come in. Obviously, that needs to happen sooner or later, and then it just creates the same problem over and over again. But, I mean, we're stacking up these bombs. It gets closer and closer.
Oh, my gosh.
And there's that revive.
That's like a guild defense Eladriel, man. I swear to God. Every time he revives, he violent procs into a heal. I'm not kidding you. And it happens there, meaning all of a sudden, UT is looking super duper healthy. However, Matsu has that third skill up on Daphnis. Gonna go ahead and snipe the Cierra. However, UT can simply ventilate the Eladriel, reviving the Cierra again. So what is Matsu gonna do? He needs some procs out of Hathor, and the Ganny
he
procs.
gets the violent proc again. You're not kidding. He literally gets that every time. Off the revive, off the sleeve. It's like you're always going to have that extra turn there. I don't understand how it works. UT10, he's got Lady Luck on his side.
Yeah, so he's gonna just bring back the Cierra. Once again, you're really proc into heal. He does not this time. Now, let's see if he goes ahead and ignores the Tiana because he already knows it's dead. He's just gonna work down Daphnis next, which is the biggest problem. And this Juno, I must say, she's landed 1 stun throughout the game. Other than that, she's done literally nothing. So I feel like, really, if Matsu just did not pick Juno there, this match could be completely different because right now, UT is coming in with the super comeback. He has so much threat on his team. How the hell is Matsu going to deal with it with a Juno on his team?
Yeah, I feel like you said in the draft, Juno is really meant for dealing with the Okeanos, but then that was banned, and so now the purpose is a little bit questionable here. And I think that what we're just going to see momentarily is a really big punish on that. Because there's no revive for Matsu. It's not anywhere near as prevalent for UT10, and now I think things are once again going to go from bad to worse. UT10 fantastic spot.
Yeah, for sure. Juno right now needs a quad stun. Come on, let's go, baby. Despair, 4-man. Wait, he doesn't go for it. Hello? He should have just gone for the RNG play. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he wanted the attack bar there to get as much turns on Juno as possible. However, he didn't even get a stun with that there. Now, UT just gonna consistently loop around Matsu at this point. He's got that Vertihal Cierra there with the attack bar manipulation as well as Ganny Ganny and Eladriel to keep everything healthy. I see no way back for Matsu at this point.
We'll probably not see too much of a way back. He was got really concede last time. He's gonna Wow, I did not expect to see kind of a repeat of game 1. I think the draft made kind of most of the impact, and then we just saw things play out with UT10 getting just as lucky as he did in game number 1, and Matsu just really never able to out-damage that revive.
Yeah, I mean, I must say, fun fact here, boys. Eladriel has a freaking 100% win rate in these tourneys so far. Let's get it. That unit has been super duper good against the Daphnis, completely shutting out Matsu's lineup. I mean, I'm just so happy right now that I get to see that.
Well, you're happy. You're going to come out to a great. Don't go anywhere. Right back or SWC.
Welcome back, everybody, to SWC 2019 group stages. We're here in the APAC region covering the best players from Japan. 4 players come in, only 2 players leave, and we're already through our first game of the day. I can't wait to talk about some of these highlights, Peter, because this was just the craziest way to start things off.
Yeah, I mean, right off the bat in game one, we get a new unit that we haven't seen in such a long time, straight out of the oven, so to say. Like that Eladriel has been cooking in that oven for a long time. The buff has finally hit. He comes out as a freshly baked chocolate chip cookie, and man, that was a tasty-ass cookie, man.
Chocolate chip Eladriel. I would never have expected that. Well, here's a look at some of the highlights from our first game between UT10 and Matsu, and I think we're going to see half of these highlights have to be UT10's units just never dying.
Yeah, I mean, look at that Ganymede surviving with 1 HP. Now, this gave so much trouble to Matsu because that Ganny not going down allowed Eladriel to get that ventilate, meaning he constantly was able to do what an Eladriel wants to do throughout the match, and then Vertihal and Ethna just simply carried the match after that.
Yeah, everybody doing their job. I hope that some of our highlights are just revive after revive after revive. Just like they revived my microphone, we're reviving in the game too. And I think Matsu, he did concede a little bit early sometimes, but the writing was on the wall at that point. And here we're going through the, I think the big change for round 2 was the Perna pick coming through for UT10. It didn't quite work out.
Yeah, I mean, UT just completely ditched his boy Eladriel, and Eladriel's like, that's karma for you, take that. And UT is going to take the loss here because he didn't have any counter to that Daphnis pretty much. That Fran was gone right off the bat, meaning the Perna was only sustained. That allowed Vertihal to die early because he didn't have much healing. Then all Matsu really needed to do was take out the Ganny and then just, clean the leftover food, so to say, with the Perna, and he took a rather easy victory there.
That's right. He was cleaning the plates after the meal.
Yeah.
Really, I think the biggest thing to kind of see about this series, and we'll see it when we get to the highlights of round 3, was just the Eladriel pick, because it just, when your units are already living with 1 HP, that's like kind of the free revive anyway. And then you actually revive them. Once Matsu puts so much effort into getting that first KO, they keep coming back again, and then we'll see the big explosion, and Bomb's doing the work for UT10 to get the first knockout for him, and from there, it was all downhill for Matsu.
Yeah, for sure. This one is just like round 1, except Matsu had a worse draft here because that Juno was in there doing literally nothing. So UT was really able to utilize his time to just bomb the Tiana, take her out first, and then just simply revive his way into the late game. And we can see that once Cierra got into the late game, her bombs did too much damage, and she was able to get that round 3 out of the way.
So speaking of that round 3 out of the way, we're getting that first game out of the way, and that means that we're going to move on to covering our next 2 players. Now, we were talking about from our first series how both of our players' drafts kind of seemed like they would be prioritizing some of the same monsters. But coming up next, we've got players that have some really crazy picks, or at least in some of the monsters that they prefer. I don't know what they're going to pick to here today, because obviously the comps that you're going to be using in RTA are maybe not quite the same as the ones you go to here at the pinnacle of competitive Summoner's War play.
Yeah, I mean, so far in that Matsu and UT match, we were able to see a lot of similar picks, them countering each other. But here in the matchup, we can see that Yuki and TOROROKING, their only similar monsters in that list is Molong. Yuki is opting to go for the more meta draft, getting as much turns as possible, while Toro, I don't know if he's gonna commit to this lineup here in every match, but he has a more of a very interesting comp on his side.
Yeah, and keep in mind, this is just his most picked monsters. Those are not necessarily monsters that you would all use together all the time. That might be a little bit weird. And honestly, if he gets a comp that looks just like that, I will be very surprised. So I don't know what to expect, but we can kind of characterize Toro or TOROROKING or whatever you want to call him. I think we'll just be using Toro today.
Toro is the best.
We can characterize him as a little bit of a strange player, or a player with strange play styles. And I don't know exactly what to expect out of Yuki, aside from he was, I think, ranked 15 a season ago, and now here in Season 9, I think he's ranked 69. So still maybe a little bit of a ways to climb up the ladder, but that's the great thing about Summoner's War, and in a lot of games today, I think that we're going to see a lot of surprises.
Yeah, for sure. Like these Japanese players, they've already adapted to the new patch, going for the new meta picks, and I'm really excited to see what kind of stuff we're gonna see. And actually, what's something interesting to note here is that Toro's lineup, if he does go with the team that we saw, that's a team based around sniping units, just like Matsu's Daphnis. So does that mean we're gonna see another Eladriel here to counter this one-shotting comp?
Well, I mean, you have to be watching the games, right? So if you see that Eladriel works so well, honestly, you might just bring it out as like another surprise pick, but it's not something that you can just bring out. And honestly, I gotta like pull out a list of the patch notes and go through every buff because apparently we might just see all of them. I don't know what to expect, but things might get a little bit crazy as we get into our second series of the day. It's gonna be Toro versus Yuki, and the pre-ban might tell us a little bit about that, but it might just look totally standard too.
Yeah, I honestly have no idea what to expect from the pre-bans here, whereas in the first matchup, we kind of knew exactly what they're going to pre-ban. Now we're going to go ahead and get to see the Leo pre-ban. Wow.
Okay, so that already tells us that we are looking at a totally different game here to start things off. I think, you know, obviously the pre-ban is important, but the psychology of the first pick also has a lot to do with that too.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm not sure which one here is Yuki and which one here is Toro. Does it say it in the pictures or?
Yuki is the player on the left and Toro is the player on the right.
All right, thank you for the clarification because my eyesight is not that good. I can't really see in depth and their names are in Japanese. So Toro is on one on the left, correct?
Yuki is on the left.
Oh, Yuki is on the left. So Yuki right now, he's opting for the triple DPS lineup, which we have not seen yet so far in SWC much at all. People have been opting more for CC lineups, but this guy, he says, hey man, I got tons of damage. So now, the response to that is going to be Entourage, which hard shuts down the Diana as well as Triana to prevent something from getting nuked right away on turn 1.
Yeah, so the Entourage pick is going to shut that down, but I mean, we've only seen the damage component of Yuki's composition here. So now, what's going to come in to support it?
Yuki, he says, my support is going to be more damage.
Okay, well, obviously, as a fan of, my fair share of, like, cleave comps, more damage is always what I'm looking for, right? But it's not something you can just pick only damage because you've got to have some strippers, some way to get that damage through. So either you rush and you go really fast, really hard early on, or is that what Yuki is looking for here? Or what's going on? And why do you think that ban came through from Toro?
You mean Toro banning, why did he ban Ager?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, well, Toro banned the Ager because it completely controls his Entourage and Birdhound, etc. Then the Daphnis was banned by Yuki because Daphnis is a very scary monster to deal with. Now, what we're going to see here is Diana not really going to be able to transform too easily because of that Entourage presence. Actually, Birdhound going to get the first turn right now, boosting up the team. Triana is going to go ahead and put up the immunity as well to protect everyone on the team. And yeah, that Shihu is just going to get shut out right off the bat. The Diana should be going for shield here. There's absolutely no reason at all to transform unless you want to bomb the Triana. Okay,
whoa,
he wants to do it. He's going for the super risky play, but he procs his way back into the horse form, and the Entourage was not able to cut in time. But he's cutting a lot right now. Is he going to get some stuns in?
Oh man, I'm waiting. How many procs is he going to get? Wait, not. Okay.
No stuns for Entourage this time.
What's the percent on that? I don't have it off the top of my head, but not high enough apparently.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't stun as a skill by itself, but most people put him on Despair Runes, so we'll see if he put it on Violent Runes or not. Whatever the case, that Diana play allows the Cierra to go ahead and plant a bomb on Triana, which is super huge, almost takes her out. Now, Josephine's shield is going to proc, allowing that Triana to stay a bit more safe. However, there are so many strips right now, so I believe that Triana is going to go down pretty soon, unless this Entourage goes crazy.
It's definitely not looking good, and so if you're Tro at this point, you do have, I guess, comeback mechanics, but you're not in a great spot, and especially because there's not really any way to save the Triana.
Yeah, I mean, we can see right now that the Entourage is on Violent, so it's not going to be stunning anything. However, it's going to be moving a ton throughout the match, which is going to be exciting to watch.
Right.
Now, Diana has zero reason whatsoever to transform this time. He agrees with me. He's going to proc, take out the Tiana here, and now all that's left for him is to stun everything here. Triple stun.
Okay.
Oh my god.
That's the karma kicking in. No stuns before. This time we're getting all of the stuns, and things are just going from bad to worse. Everything working out here for Yuki.
Yeah, so Yuki is just going to go ahead and third skill that Josephine, take her out of the way. If not, that's completely okay because he calculated that he's going to proc to finish it off anyways.
All planned.
Now Antares, once he gets that bomb planted on him, it's pretty much a death sentence. Like, Yuki is just procking away on his units one by one. There's not much that Tro can do at this point to come back.
Yeah, and Tro's just going to go for the concede instantly. What a way to finish that off. Obviously, this match is a complete contrast to the ones that we were seeing early. There's none of that. There was no revive mechanic at all. Obviously, would have been a little bit useful there. But more importantly, I think that once you just focus one unit so heavily, this is what it looks like when that works out really, really well. And for Yuki, I'm guessing that worked pretty flawlessly. So what do you expect to be the adaptation here as we get in to Game 2?
I believe we're definitely going to be seeing, different pre-bans, of course, because that's kind of needed. But I think even if there wasn't that rule, we would see some different pre-bans because now they would want to adapt to each other's playstyle on Game 1. So now they must be really thinking hard about what is going to be the ban coming in here. Is Tro going to go ahead and just ban out some of Yuki's damage dealers this time? Is Yuki going to ban... I don't know. I really don't know what that Leo ban came from. I assume that they know each other very well. He studied Tro, and he knows that Tro uses Leo. So I'm kind of excited to see maybe a Leo pick coming out of Tro and maybe some teams around the Leo. That would be really fun to watch.
I definitely would. I think one thing's for sure, the pre-ban phase takes forever. So it looks like, okay, we're changing it up here for round 2. I think the big adjustment was made by Tro to not allow a repeat from Game 1. And I guess you're forced to pre-ban different monsters because of the rules.
Yeah, so right now we see Vanessa and Josephine banned out here, and I apologize, I meant to say that Tro banned out Yuki's Leo. It's very confusing for me to kind of tell who's who. I know the pictures there, but it's very blurry for me, so even the pictures don't really help me out.
Yeah,
just
Yuki
a
on
disclaimer,
the left, Tro on the right, just like last time, going for the Vertihel and Ager right off the bat.
Yeah, so Vertihel and Ager are going to come in here to counter the Cierra pick, meaning that Tro does not want to deal with Yuki's 5-man DPS lineup again. He's taking some of that away this time, and now Yuki goes ahead and takes in the Daphnis. What is he going to combo with that Daphnis? This time, he puts in a Tableau.
Yeah, we're seeing the Tableau here, and we talked about why that might be a little bit weird to start things off. I didn't actually expect that to come through, though, because it's not something that I think we see anyone else play.
Yeah, I mean, that Tableau, it's going to be providing double speed lead right now, as well as an extra turn. So what this guy on the left is doing is he goes ahead and locks in the Tiana to counter this Daphnis one-shotting combo. And what is he going to do now? He puts in the Diana because Diana is such a great unit at pretty much all times, unless the opponent has heavy fire, in which in this draft here, there's not too much fire, I would say. So how is this comp around Tableau going to be finished off? Like, what do the last 2 picks need to be?
Well, I mean, I guess when you're already going for like a monster that gives you such a severe speed lead.
Wow.
Is that how you expected to see it finished off?
Not at all. There is triple speed lead in the game now with the Jamire there, as well as the Water Sniper, meaning, once again, this is going to be a heavy damage lineup coming out with the Jamire refresh as well. That means everyone's going to be able to get their nukes off twice. Now the response coming out of that is going to be Wusa. It's going to get instantly banned out.
You don't even get to see the Wusa. Wusa's like, I'm here, guy, and instantly totally shut down. Get out of here. Definitely not going to have that huge protect for your team.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely no hesitation there on that Wusa ban. We can clearly tell that the Wusa pick was not appreciated there at all whatsoever. But now we get into the game here. Jamire gonna get the first turn. He's just gonna do nothing for now because that's how the combo works. Now what should be happening is his team getting a turn. The Water Sniper gonna go for the one-shot onto the Vertihel, and he predicts that it survives 1 HP. That was actually a smart play because had it one-shotted, Triana's passive would have kicked in, and Vertihel would have survived, taking zero damage whatsoever. However, it was perfect now. Vertihal is at such a low amount of HP. Triana's passive gets proc there. Now she should be going for the heal or a clutch sleep. Let's see what he decides to go for. He goes for the sleep. I really like that play from him. I like it when players go for these clutch plays. Unfortunately, he's not going to get it.
Yeah, you gotta try sometimes. Obviously, it doesn't work out there, but I think it was the play to make.
Yeah, and then the water sniper, he greeted a bit there. He wanted to kill that Ager as well because the Vertihal was already so low. But that Ager is going to be super duper tanky. No problems for him on tanking that. But however, Cierra is going to be able to follow up here. Can it kill through a Dyna's shield though? Oh wow, that is a very high damage Cierra. I thought with the Dyna's shield there, that might mean trouble for the Cierra because maybe she wouldn't be able to kill. However, he was able to kill, meaning that third skill from Sniper was not wasted at all. Now, all that really needs to happen is this Tiana and Ager somehow needs to be shut down, but it's going to be very difficult to do that with Cierra bomb down.
That's right. So basically, none of the bomb damage. Obviously, Ager super tanky. It's going to take a lot more to deal with him there. But as you can see, the damage is being traded right back and forth. Who's ahead at this point, Peter?
I would actually say that it's a bit more favored for the Diana and Ager in terms of overall RNG likeliness.
Okay.
However, I wouldn't say it's over yet because the Cierra bombs can make a huge difference. However, the Tableau, you can see that going down there. Diana is not going too rampant yet, but Triana has the heal up, has the passive up, meaning that the Cierra's bomb will not have too much impact. So it's looking really bad here.
Yeah, the Sun taking out Tableau means that kind of the unique part of that entire comp is just out of here. And like you said, the Ager is going to keep kicking in the longer that he stays alive. And, oh man, it just doesn't look like he's dying anytime soon, Peter.
Yeah, I mean, Diana has a free reign here, and he knows it too, so it's going to be an easy 2-0 victor here, it seems.
Okay, so we're getting a little bit of everything. We had it go all the way to a tense Game 3 in our first series, and then in our second series, we're just seeing the clean 2-0. And we did get a lot of variety, though, in our second series. So what's going to be most exciting is that when we go to the winner's match, you're going to see kind of two very contrasting play styles go up against each other. And I think that that's going to be super exciting to watch. So don't go anywhere. We've got a short break coming up. And then after that, we'll have the winner's match to qualify one player out of Group B. I'm sorry, I didn't see you there. Welcome back, everybody, to the SWC 2019 APAC Group B. I'm rapping here with Peter again, and well, we've just gotten some strange games today. We've gotten some really standard games, some new monsters coming through, some one-shots happening. It's a little bit of everything to start off Group B.
Yeah, I mean, Japan is really marking their territory here on this SWC. I would say out of all the regions that I've casted so far, Japan has been showing the most diversity in their lineups, and we can just see that recap right now and see some of that diversity that I was talking about. So we see this 4-man DPS comp. In fact, it was 5-man DPS in the draft phase, and we can see that it actually worked out fantastically because each unit on that team had so much threat, and that Tiana could not handle 4 DPSers in one go, allowing pretty much after the Tiana goes down, just units get sniped left and right.
Right, and this is only game number 1. We've got some literal sniping in game number 2 with that water sniper coming through, and some really great moments there. An easy win, or a seemingly easy win in round 1. And here's round 2, where we got a chance to see a little bit of uniqueness here, as Toro actually went for the tableau to make sure that his team was super fast, but not fast enough.
Yeah, I mean, right there you can see that the water sniper plays were super huge IQ. It brought it just enough so that it was able to be killed off later by the Cierra bomb. Now, once that Vertihal was down, it was looking pretty bad, so to say, but actually the Ager was able to take out the water sniper, and it was pretty much a comeback from there.
Yeah, I guess you could call that a comeback. Really clutch stun on the tableau there just in time, and then this is where I think you see it die just the very next turn. Yep, taken out immediately. So stun, dead, and everything goes from bad to worse there for Toro. Yuki cleaning it up in a 2-0. So a very fast way to finish off our second of our group stage games, and that means it's a hard day for talking, guys. That means that we're heading on to the winner's match. That means that the match coming up will decide the first player to advance out of our Group B. And that's exactly what our producers are showing us right now.
Yes,
good
so
job,
in
guys.
sync as always.
That's right. So UT10 advanced on from our first match, in case you guys are just now joining us. And if you're just now joining us, Yuki advanced on from our previous series. And that means that they have to take on each other for the chance to advance out of Group B in first place.
Yeah, and then you can see there below, you're going to have Matsu and Toro face off each other again for still having a chance at going to the World Finals. And here we're seeing a matchup screen of UT and Yuki on the screen. We both got to see their super dominant playstyles. UT with the control, Yeonhung, and Yuki actually with the 5-man DPS. So how is this matchup of full DPS and more CC-oriented lineup going to play out here? I am very interested in seeing that.
You know, UT10 does play a little bit more standardly, things like that, the Hathor, Ganymede style, but I think that what might give UT10 a little bit of an advantage is that his comps usually seem to be a little bit more well-rounded, whereas if you're just going for, like, you know, damage and CC, it's just like, you know, you're just trying to Hulk smash the other guy, and maybe you're really strong at doing that one thing, but if it doesn't work, if you have a counter like the Eladriel that UT10 pulled out, I think that might work really well against Yuki in this match.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I was about to comment on. UT is the guy that's been busting out the Eladriel, which works great against damage, which is exactly what Yuki does. And now the troublesome thing here for Yuki is that what his team comp is weak to is CC, because he doesn't have a lot of immunity. So if UT goes ahead and takes up the Eladriel here, as well as some CC, I believe Yuki's going to have a really hard time. Whatever the case, we get into the pre-bans. How is Yuki going to play around UT's Monster Box? We see the Yeonhung ban coming out and the Tiana ban coming out of UT, which I actually like.
Right, and you might have expected that. Tiana is UT10's most banned monster, so it makes sense that you would go for the ban here against Yuki, who has Tiana as his most picked monster. So it makes a lot of sense to see that ban come through.
Yeah, absolutely. Tiana is a unit that if you don't shut out, she will literally solo carry matches, and it really sucks to draft your whole team around just one horse. So I totally feel UT with that Diana pre-ban. However, Yuki right now is going to come up with the Josephine first pick. Now, what is UT going to do? Usually when people go Josephine right in your face, you normally don't want to answer right back with like a half or and just straight up CC, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I assume we're going to see maybe a Fran pickup here, but no. Actually, the Vertical is going to come out of UT. And now what is Yuki going to do? Their names are pretty similar, by the way.
UT and Yuki.
Yeah. What is Yuki going to do here to answer this fearsome attack bar duel?
Right, so you already know you're going up against a lot of damage, but the comp hasn't really been revealed here at this point for UT. And so Yuki has a lot of different directions that he could go. I think, okay, we'll be picking up that Ager. I don't think that's a big surprise.
Yeah, this guy really likes his Ager for sure. He picks up the Vanessa as well for the speed leader and the armor break. And UT right now, he is just going to go ahead and lock in the Ganymede as well as the Fran. So I assume UT's last pick is going to be something like maybe the Eladriel again or some type of a stripper like Shihu or Ethna to move in front of the Gany. Yuki right now, he really needs to decide, is he going to fully commit to a damage comp, or rather is he going to pull out the Amelia early on, which I'm a bit concerned about because UT could definitely put up a last pick to counter the Amelia. However, he brings out a unit that I've seen Japanese players play the most out of any other regions, the Water Druid. And now, this unit, you're probably not sure what it does.
No, I'm very unsure at this point because not only am I a little bit unsure about the Japanese region, I don't know what that is doing here. So
yeah, okay, so let me explain it to you.
Okay.
This Water Druid unit is a super healer type of unit. So basically, if UT lands a bomb and it doesn't kill, that Water Druid will move, providing massive sustain for the whole entire team. Now, however, when UT picks another CC into a Amelia, that's pretty much a dead giveaway that he's going to be banning out the Amelia here, meaning Yuki is actually going to get to show us his Water Druid in the gameplay. So I am very excited to be seeing that here. Now, it seems UT's really going to be relying on that Water Fairy for the carry because you look at his team, the only thing his team can really do is lock things one by one and just keep moving with Vertical.
Yeah, I mean, one by one. A lot of times you'll see things like the Okeanos when you just really want to lock everything down. But this is a much different perspective where you're just saying, look, I want to take it one by one and really, not go for the overall like team CC. Just knock them out one at a time. Now, the sustain from the Water Druid, I think that's kind of the big thing to watch here because it is such a signature. Is it going to be enough? Because it does seem like a great way to counter all that focus damage.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, but UT does have the Ganymede there to kind of reset away the heal from the Druid, and not only that, there's a Vanessa there protecting units, so somehow UT is going to have to kill this Vanessa through all the shields and heal that Yuki has going on here while not having a lot of damage because Yuki made such a smart ban, taking out the Cierra. This match can go either way for sure, and right now, Yuki gonna start off with the branding on Fran, meaning he's gonna be able to lay out the armor break here into a second skill from Druid. Do it.
Yeah, are we watching? Are we watching? There it is.
Yes, it was able to clean off the fairy because these Druids are usually built on crit damage. Such a huge damage coming out. Now things are looking a bit grim for UT, but honestly, I still believe in UT here because Vertical and that Water Fairy combo can be super frightening, but he's gonna have to definitely pull off a lot of procs.
Yeah, Water Fairy versus Water Druid at this point. I love the Water Druid coming out and making such a big impact right now. Fran didn't know what hit her. I don't know what to expect for the comeback, though. We're looking for the turnaround there. Obviously, it's going to make it a lot slower to act there, but I don't know how UT10 comes back from this. Obviously, the Water Fairy is going to be a big part of that, but we haven't seen that happen just yet. Still waiting about half full on that attack bar until one day all that changed. So let's get back into it.
Yeah, so what needs to happen is Water Fairy needs to keep that Josephine locked down and he gets the freeze, which is so huge because the only thing that's going to be shutting out this Water Fairy right now is the Josephine, and as long as he can keep the passive from coming back, he can literally just sleep things one by one and constantly move with the Vertihal. Now, something interesting to note there is he went ahead and saved the third skill out of the Water Fairy. I'm assuming because he wanted to save it for Josephine. Whatever the case, he's going to go ahead and reset the Water Druid now, meaning no more healing for the team.
Yep.
So this guy, right now, his goal is going to be to probably take out Vanessa first. We'll see what it is that he does.
Right, and that's been the big focus basically all games. How do you deal with the Vanessa here? Locking out the Water Druid is one part of that, but then you actually just still have to kill what is a very tough monster to take out. Freeze, though, is going to help. So much control here for UT10, really just consistently taking out each individual threat, and the damage from Vertihel, still not enough.
Yeah, so right now, UT, he's just playing out his cool times, very smart. He does not want to deal with that Aether because that is the main thing that can really mess him up. That Vertihal proc gonna come in huge, allowing his team to constantly move. He should be going for the sleep on the Water Paladin there, and Gani is proccing too. This is actually super disgusting.
Right, this is just going from bad to worse. You think it's like, oh wow, it's lucky he got a proc, and then he just keeps doing it. I mean, it's one thing for the old man ager to be asleep. You know, he's old, he's tired, but for everybody to be sleeping on the job, or stunned, or having their attack bar reset, I mean, Vanessa needs some help here, guys.
Oh my god, and he lands another freeze with that fairy into a violent proc, meaning he can freeze even again. This unit is toxic, man.
I mean, it just looks like it's water, right? It's there meant to be frozen. So Water Druid out of there. He's been such a key part. He's frozen a guy. I don't know. He's just consistently trying to lock that Water Druid out. When was the last time that guy took a turn?
I don't know, like, when is the last time Yuki took a turn for that matter? Because none of his units are really moving except for the Vanessa, who is going to go ahead and get taken out very soon. He's just going to go ahead and purify that Vertihal, giving him some attack bar as well as the healing. Yep. He's really just playing around with Yuki's team right now, just locking everything one by one. You know, he actually kept the Vanessa alive there so that Vertihal can get the double crits on fire, which is very smart. And he's just going to go for another 2-turn sleep. Look at this.
Okay, well, I'm just waiting for Yuki to do something. At this point, Yuki has gotten up. He's like getting a drink or a snack from the kitchen. He doesn't. He knows he can wait a while to come back because his team's not doing anything. Finally, the damage comes through to take out Vanessa. A big win condition for UT10's composition here. I don't know. Now that Vanessa's gone, is there any hope for Yuki?
What Yuki needs to get done right now is somehow shut out this Water Fairy combo. And now that there's no more fire on Yuki's side and everything is water, it means Vertihal technically should be having trouble critting down on these units, allowing Yuki more of a breathing space. But so far, the Vertihal's going to say, no thank you, I'm just going to double crit water every time. And his team is just going to basically keep moving and sleeping. And that was actually a 3v4. How disgusting is that?
Well, we're just going to keep seeing the CC vented over and over again. And with as lucky or as highly skilled as UT10 has been at proccing this CC, honestly, we're just going to see that over and over again. If this Water Druid ever takes another turn, I will be incredibly impressed.
Yeah, I mean, Josephine being locked down, it pretty much shuts out the whole purpose of Josephine. She's basically a sitting duck right now, and all UT really needs to do right now is just do some damage on this Druid, take him out, and honestly, yeah.
He's not even going to wait for it. He knows what's coming. The proc was absolutely guaranteed to come through at that point, I promise. What a way to see that comeback happen. I mean, it's not like 3v4 is completely unwinnable, but just the way that Yuki had to deal with that, that's so frustrating. It's got to be a tilter going into the second round.
Absolutely. If I was Yuki right now, I'd be so damn tilted that I might actually pre-ban the Water Fairy or even just pre-ban the Gani, because Gani is also what kind of helped her perform.
Right, it's an enabler for that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, now that I think about it, he didn't even need the Gani either, because Water Fairy's cool times are literally 2 turns and 3 turns, meaning she doesn't even need the Ventilate to get it back up. Whatever the case, here we are into the pick ban phase. We're going to see how Yuki adapts to that first round here. He bans the Gani, like I said.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And also, I mean, banning the Vanessa, you don't have to kill it anymore. It's out of there anyway. But no Diana ban can come through here, at least in the pre-ban phase, so that might be, if it's chosen, the post-ban choice. And that might set up, if you know you have a monster, your opponent is very likely to post-ban. If you pick it, that means you can go for a much more guaranteed, rest of your 4-monster composition.
Yeah, absolutely. And now Yuki right now, he's gonna have to deal with the Yunhong this match. UT is not even bothering to pick up the Yunhong because he knows that Yuki doesn't have it, so he can just put in the Yunhong whenever he feels like it. Yuki, he locks in the Josephine early on again here, but this time he does have the Vertihal there, meaning if UT opts for the Water Fairy, it won't be as toxic as last match. UT right now going to be taking the Light Fairy Queen this time instead through the Fran, and now he's really taking his time to decide his third pick here. What is it going to be? He goes for the Ager, which is a great pick.
All right, you can take one of mine, I can take one of yours. I guess it's all even at this point. But these next two picks are really going to be the core of Yuki's composition. It's going to be the Diana, I guess almost guaranteed, right? But what is coming through here as kind of the way to round this out? Obviously, it's not going to be the Ager like it was in Game 1. But here in round 2, I mean, both players waiting until the absolute last second. Okay, so some things never change.
Yeah, so what Yuki did there is he picked the Antares, which is not a very good unit into UT's lineup, but he did that because he knows UT is going to pick up the Antares, which really makes it hard for Diana to perform, and he didn't want that, so that was a preemptive pick by him. UT right now going to go with the super offensive lineup, which I love, because offensive lineups are very, very strong in this meta right now. Going for the Daphnis turn 1 nuke, as well as the Yunhong in here to just boost everything up. Now, Yuki is really going to have to think hard about what the last pick is going to be. I believe Yuki still definitely has a great chance in this matchup because he has so much units that can get a lot of turns. He goes with the Tiana to protect from the Daphnis. There's not too much time for maybe UT to be making a ban here, it seems, because the timer is running out very fast. So we'll see what actually happens. Yeah, so we're just waiting on the bans right now, and we see the Vertihal ban as well as the Daphnis ban.
So the Vertihal ban actually surprises me because I expected to see Diana taken out of there, but just because that's what we had in game number 1. But I guess it does make sense to take out a big part of the damage there. Yuki won't be able to have that, but the rest of the comp is still totally intact here. So what do you think the main goals are going into the second round, Peter?
I believe UT's goal here is obviously going to be to shut down this Diana as soon as he can. Otherwise, that Diana's literally going to solo carry the match. And Yuki's goal here is basically going to be to protect the Diana and let it live as long as it can. But he's going for the Triana first here because if he went for Diana first, it would get infinitely protected by Triana. He does not want that. So let's see what this Ager is going to do here. Is he going to try to absorb attack bar on a wind unit, or will he go for the branding? Actually going for the Diana as well. So it doesn't really seem like he wants to focus one unit down necessarily. And I'm guessing that's because if Diana were to get the attack bar there, it would be able to move in front of the Cierra. Now Yuki can decide to shield or strip Sierra's attack buff. I would actually go for the strip there, and that was a very smart move by him because now he can just go ahead and make that Sierra bomb do less damage. Not only that, if Sierra bombs the Diana, the damage would get negated by the Triana. But no, he's going for the Fran. I actually like that too. A lot of good moves.
Yeah, taking out or at least focusing the Fran there. Obviously, when that bomb comes down, not going to deal quite as much there. I don't know exactly what I guess the main goal of that was, so enlighten me a little bit.
Cierra went for the bomb on Diana there just to proc the Triana passive.
Okay.
Because it was basically a free way to proc it since Diana is very squishy right now in her human form. But Triana, she's going to be able to cleanse the stun off Diana, which would have been so nice to have. Man. If that Diana stayed stunned up in human form, UT could have literally snowballed the game off that. Unfortunately, UT right now is probably just going to have to cleanse the Ager here. I wonder about that. If I was him, I would have just cleansed the Ager because you would know that Yunhong has a heal up, just giving heal sustain anyways. So that was definitely a misplay by him. And we'll see if that costs him, because when you're against the Diana, you want to make sure you play all your cards and turns correctly. However, he kind of gets a violent proc to make up for the misplay. So he's going to be able to get a attack bar reduction on Diana, which is huge because you want that horse to not move. Now let's see if he can get a stun into a proc.
Wow.
Will we see a double stun here on the Fran?
Ager, last game he was asleep, this game he's stunned. And if you don't have the Ager up, then you can't do that step-by-step combo. Another proc. Oh my god. All right, so this is going to make it so much more difficult to deal with really anything. I mean, the Triana is going to still be there protecting the Diana. Names are kind of similar, but the idea is as long as that combo is alive and well for Yuki, UT10 is going to be struggling.
Yeah, UT right now, but still looking pretty healthy thanks to the double, pretty much the best sustained supports in the game that he's got on his team. Diana's definitely not going to transform there with glancing and attack break. There's absolutely no reason to do so. Let's see if this Triana can get a sleep here. She does not, and no proc as well. Now this Josephine is going to go ahead and provoke the Ager, but I wonder about that. I wonder if that was a good choice. I guess it kind of is in the sense that he can get Ager stunned up. But if I was him, I'd be worrying a lot about Fran right now because another third skill coming out of Fran could be devastating for Yuki.
Right. I mean, for Yuki, even though Diana is being focused at this point, it's not like that's priority number one. I think Yuki has actually changed from, hey, how do I keep my Diana from dying, like he was very early on, and now he's like, wait a second, I can actually either kill your friend, well, not right now, but I mean, honestly, the longer this game goes, it seems like UT10 is just falling further and further behind.
Yes, but if this Diana goes down to the bomb, that would actually reduce Yuki's kill threat so much that I think UT would actually be able to snowball the game from there. However, unfortunately for UT, this Triana was able to get the turn there, and she's got that passive, meaning Diana will not be going down anymore. And he was also able to take out the Cierra before it got a heal. That is so good for Yuki.
Wow, with Cierra going down, we really are kind of putting this game on a clock here for UT10. He's got to find a way to either deal with the Triana or maybe even take out the Diana. Now with that transformation, is this like the one moment that UT10 has?
Wait a minute. Hold on to your question.
Okay.
I'm confused right now because this could be a bug we're seeing. I don't understand why that Diana didn't move there. I kind of get it. So what happened there was Diana moved there just now. The bomb procced, and it procced the Triana passive because it killed Diana. And Diana transformed, and then Triana took the turn from Diana getting the bomb detonated, and it actually seems like Triana just countered the own Diana there, and it prevented Diana from moving. And what? I've never seen that before.
This is a 5-on-3. Triana's fighting for the wrong team.
Yeah, I mean, what the heck is this? Like, seriously, I have never seen that interaction in my life ever before. Big news, guys. If you have Triana on your team with Diana, that can actually counter you. So all of a sudden, Yuki is in a really bad position. Although just moment before that, he was in such a good one. Now Yeonhung is just going to be able to heal up the Fran all the way to full HP as well as full attack bar. Things are looking really, really grim for Yuki now.
And what a turnaround, too. Yuki was actually the guy in the good spot there for a second until Triana switched sides there for a second. But now, honestly, I mean, this is going to be starting to go from bad to worse. Entourage, man, he's not looking so hot.
Yeah, I mean, Entourage, he's usually a monster that you can look to carry the match.
Oh my god! Clutch kill there. Fran not here anymore, but the Entourage dies to keep making this from a 4v4, 3v3, 2v2. This is so crazy, Peter. I can't believe that we were watching Yuki in such a strong spot. Now things back to even, and even looking good for UT10 now.
Yeah, I mean, UT10 definitely should be winning this one here unless Yuki's units literally go crazy here with procs and stuns and whatnot. That is literally his only hope at winning, because UT has so much more damage in his lineup, but UT is just saying, hey man, I got the procs here. I'm sorry, man, but it seems like you're gonna have to take a loss here, my friend. Giving full attack bar to Ager once again. That's what Yeonhungs do. Now he's just going to be able to go ahead and either utilize the second skill or third skill here. Going for the third skill, I agree with that choice. However, the second damage will be countered by Triana's passive, but this Josephine is definitely going to go down soon.
Yeah, and I feel like the writing might be on the wall. Are we about to see our second 2-0 in a row, Peter? It certainly looks like it. Now a 2-on-1 for UT10. The concede comes through, and UT10 will be our first player to advance out of Group B.
Yeah, I mean, like, really, I'm kind of out of my caster brain right now. I'm still trying to process what happened with the Diana.
What was that Triana doing?
Yeah, I mean, that Diana and Triana interaction, I've seriously, in 5 years playing this game, never seen that before. So I need to see a recap of that so I can once again see what exactly happened there and if what I analyze is actually correct. Like,
I think you saw it correctly. I'm not sure if we just missed one crucial moment of logic. I'm sure, obviously, if you have, if you guys saw something that we didn't, I guess you can't tweet at Peter, but you can tweet at Rapid Casting. Let me know what happened there. I'm just as confused as you are, Peter. So we're going to take a quick break. But before we do, keep in mind that the coupon code that you guys have been looking for is here. We didn't tell you a lie. We're going to give that to you. It's right there. It's Swarigato.
SW arigato. Arigato means thank you in Japan, as you would know, because you were in Japan for a while.
There's your Japanese lesson for the day.
Yeah. SW arigato 19, boys. Get your free 100 energy and 100,000 mana.
That's right. So you guys can type that code in if you're on Android. And if you're on iOS, the link that you guys have to click will be posted in chat. So that's just your confirmation. That's your code. So I hope you guys are happy. We'll be showing that again at the end of round 5. So don't worry. We'll have more of that coming up. Now, in just a second, we're going to take another break, but don't go anywhere because after that break, guess what? Even more Summoners War coming your way. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody, to the Summoners War World Arena Championship 2019. I'm wrapping it back here with Peter. Make sense of what just happened. We just saw one of the craziest turnarounds that we've seen throughout this entire group stage. And in these highlights, we're going to take another look at it. So let's set things up, starting off with our first round.
Yeah, so this is the first round, and where we saw basically Yuki do really what his team comm is made for, taking out a unit on turn 1 if possible, and that's exactly what he did. And in most normal cases, this would be where Yuki has such a massive advantage over the opponent, but this is where we saw Water Fairy landing everything she can possibly land, and Vertihal and Gani really being there to help her achieve that goal of pretty much 4-man CC while looping turns, and that's exactly what UT was able to do. Ever since Yuki finished off Ran, I don't think he's been able to really move much at all ever since, and we're basically just seeing a loop of Vertihal plus CC combo. This match should be ending soon. I'm really just waiting for the second match right now because my breakdown of what happened there is that Tiana passive procced because Tiana didn't cleanse a bomb on Diana, which allows Tiana to move, and I know that passive takes away turns from units like Alicia after she uses skill 3, so I am wondering if that is what happened to Diana and it actually prevented Diana from moving. Now I'm going to be paying close attention here on the second highlight to see what exactly happened. We're just going to go through a pick ban really quickly. So we saw that Yuki put up a lineup that really wants to focus on Diana carrying. And I feel like if Diana got her turn there and was not trapped in human form, I feel like Yuki actually probably would have won that because there wasn't so much units on UT side to handle the Diana anymore.
Right.
We're just seeing a quick preview of how Cierra died, and I believe it seems they skipped over the part, which I'm kind of disappointed. Maybe they'll show it later. But yeah, anyways, you saw there Yeonhong and Ager was literally able to finish off Diana from full HP to 0 because it was stuck in human form. Had that not happened, there was no way Diana would have died there, and Yuki actually should have won that there. So
yeah, such a huge moment there in Game 2. And that means that UT10 is our first player to advance out. This is just him finishing the job, one step at a time, and eventually Water Paladin's going to go down. There it is, the kill, and then the immediate concede right afterwards. So UT10, a quick 2-0, and that means that he is out of here as our first player to qualify. But because it's double elimination, don't worry, you're going to get a chance to see Yuki. Man, UT and Yuki. I'm having a really hard time remembering those names. But Yuki is not out of things just yet. He drops down to the final match in the loser's bracket. But before we have our last chance qualifier, we have to have Matsu versus Toro. This is going to be an elimination match. The player that loses this match is out of the group stage.
Yep, they are out completely, while the winner will move on and have a chance to face off Yuki for the other spot to go to the World Finals. And based on the matchup here, Matsu versus Toro, we're going to be seeing pretty much, I feel like, the same thing as we saw in UT versus Yuki. They both are similar in the sense that Matsu and UT, I feel like, are a bit similar, although Matsu likes to put in that daftness there. And Toro, we might be seeing a lot of full damage comms coming out of him as well, based on the units that he usually likes to pick. So once again, it's going to be a very interesting and heated matchup.
Right. Matsu, it does have that, I guess, the more standard approach, which is just how we're characterizing it, the Yeonhong Gani Hathor. But from Toro, this guy is capable of all kinds of craziness. Like it's like he makes up a monster just to play with it, because some of these things are just not things that we're used to. I think the biggest one was the tableau, which is kind of, I guess, his signature little Summoner's War salt that he sprinkles on. What he is doing personally, I think that it could be a huge inclusion, but I think the last time that we saw it, it was stunned at the key turn where it needed to act and really didn't get a chance to be as impactful. So let's kick things off with game number 1 of TOROROKING versus Matsu.
Yeah, and here we can see the pre-bans coming out of TOROROKING. He takes out the Hathor because Hathor can really shut down his comp, especially when he's not picking up much immunity. Now, Matsu took out the Vanessa there, which is quite interesting to me because I know that Toro has a ton of speed lead options. So was Vanessa really the right pre-ban there? We'll see. Matsu right now answering back to the Cierra with the Fran Vertihal that we see almost every match because they're so good. Now, Toro gonna pick up the Ager. So I assume that we're not going to be seeing any Tableau variation of comp Cierra because I don't believe Tableau complements the team very well. So he goes with the Tiana.
Yeah, I think the Tiana makes a lot of sense. It still leaves a lot open to finish off his comp with. Not too big of a surprise to see the Younghong come out here, but I'm trying to think, what was Matsu's next pick? Okay, obviously the Gani gets picked.
Yeah, so Matsu right now, he's going to go ahead and pick a team pretty much that can be decided by the last pick. Like, his team doesn't really have any set concept yet. He could fit in a Daphnis there and all of a sudden have a very threat-heavy comp. He could put in a CC there and have a CC-heavy comp. So I really like the draft coming out of him so far, not showing too much of his color. However, Toro is saying, hey, Matsu, I know you like your Daphnis so much, and that unit might become a headache for me, so I'm actually going to take that away from you now and also put in a Josephine to perhaps predict a CC pick coming out of Matsu, given that Toro does not have too much immunity on his side. And Matsu responds by saying, I'm going to be taking Tiana this game and try to abuse all that wind and water units you got on your team there.
I mean, I guess it does make sense that almost immediately that would be banned out, along with the Tiana. I don't know exactly, like, if they thought that it was going to come through, but I don't, I don't think that that was realistically going to make it through the post-ban. Makes sense to see it taken out of the way. And now we get a chance to get into our first game in the elimination match. That's right.
Yeah, so right now we're seeing Matsu with the first turn here, giving everyone the attack buff. Now Yeonhong's going to try to strip that Cierra. However, he does not get it, meaning that Cierra is not going to get resetted here, which is pretty bad for Matsu.
Yeah, obviously you're trying to go for that right off the bat. If you don't get it, then you don't really want to try again because you already had kind of your one shot. It didn't work. Now let's see what comes out off the back of that. Oh, the Provoke does get used on the Vertihell, so nice to be able to redirect that damage away from those squishy targets.
Yeah, so Vertihell hitting that Josephine is going to be really good for Toro because that Revenge could actually stun up the Vertihell, and not only that, Vertihell hitting water means that he's probably not going to get too much crits most of the time. Now what happens here is Cierra dishing out some damage onto that Yeonhong with the bomb, going to take out a huge chunk of her health. However, the Fran going to be able to heal her right back up along with the cleanse, so he could even heal up again if he chooses to, and I believe he was going to do it. That's because Gani has Ventilate up, being able to give Yeonhong the healing yet again. Yeonhong is just going to pretty much chop away at whatever he feels is the biggest threat. He does not like that Cierra there, so he chops away at it. Now, who is Gani going to ventilate? Will it be the Fran or will it be the Yeonhong? He's thinking about it and he gives it to Yeonhong.
Yeah, Younghong kind of the key, like glue that keeps this comp together here for Matsu. Now, Toro on the other side, like he is really focusing that Verta, but I think, yeah, rightfully realizing that it's important to take out the Younghong. So much focus for not a lot of value.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be really hard for Toro to take out anything on Matsu's side, because like I say, Fran and Yeonhong are two of the strongest healers in the game. And with those two together, combined with even a Vertihell, it's really, really hard to kill anything unless you have a one-shotting unit like Daphnis,
right,
which is why Matsu smartly banned it out.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense because now through so much heal and support, maybe you can focus down this Fran. I guess trying to do it, resist. I'm like, okay, I get it. It's not going to do it that time. Can it happen again? No. Surviving with just a sliver of HP, the theme of the day.
Yeah, but Josephine was able to proc and take it out. Even without that proc, Cierra probably could have killed it. So, yeah, I mean, that Ager dealt out massive damage on Fran there. So he was finally able to chop through the sustain. Now he's going to be working on the Vertihell next. The procs out of Ager really helping out with the damage right now. This Vertihell looks like he's going to be in for some really bad time because Josephine and Ager are two very scary units for a Vertihell to deal with. Gani landing that glancing into a reset is going to be so huge for Matsu because this will allow this Vertihell to finally get some sustain, because otherwise that Ager would have absolutely demolished that Vertihell.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And Vertihell is like basically where your damage is coming from Matsu. That goes down, I don't know if you really have a win condition after that. So thankfully, we're going to see a little bit of salvation come through here. But Vertihell, he was so close to dying there. Obviously now all of that's been undone.
Yeah, I mean, the Vertihal proc as well, giving everyone the turn. That was super huge. Like, he not only resisted the bomb was supposed to stun him, meaning Vertihal would not get a turn. Maybe he could have got finished off, but he resisted and then procs into Yeonhung basically moving. And I can kind of tell that, you know, Yuki or is it Toro?
Toro, yeah.
Yeah, Toro got very tilted by that and he kind of quit out early.
Yeah, I mean, where was your damage going to come from after that? I mean, once you see your Ager go down, it's just like, okay, well, there's no hope after that. And honestly, it was so cool to see just so much support. Obviously, double extremely strong heroes there between the Yeonhung and the Fran. Like, how do you stop that? Every time they tried to focus Verta held down, just so many heals just kept coming through over and over again. The event just kept coming through again to enable even more heals. And I'm just like, well, you know, what are you supposed to do? So let's hit the reset button. We're going into round 2.
All right, so last time we saw Matsu pre-ban the Vanessa, and he took the win, so it seemed to be working for him. How does he adjust? He bans the Josephine this time. He knows Toro really likes picking up that Josephine, and Toro is saying, you know what, that Yeonhung last game was disgusting. I'm gonna go ahead and ban it out. So now, Matsu here with the first pick priority. He has so many options that he can choose from, honestly, and he decides Vanessa first pick is the best way to go.
Makes a lot of sense. Vanessa was banned last game. It's coming in this time around. And I think, you know, we're going to have Hathor be very highly prioritized on the other side by Matsu. So at least that would make sense. Now, grabbing the Vanessa, okay, I get it. The Fran, though, coming through, too. What's up with that?
The Fran coming in, I mean, she's just a generically always a good pick.
Okay.
So most players are going to want to pick up the Fran whenever they can. And Hathor coming in, I feel like it's actually been a while since I've seen Hathor today, which is a surprise because in most other regions, Hathor has been picked every single game pretty much. Now, what Toro is doing here is he sees the CC and he's saying, you know what, I am the CC counter master.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring in the Juno and Wusa, both strong units against CC. So Matsu, he sees all that support. He wants to abuse it now by putting in 2 strong damage dealers, Shiho and the Daphnis. How is Toro gonna adapt around this? Honestly, if I was on Toro's side, I would be very scared of the Daphnis here because that is the one unit that can definitely one-shot. So I believe we might be seeing a Daphnis ban here out of Toro. And Matsu should be banning whatever he feels is going to cause him the most trouble, which is going to be the Diana. I completely agree with that. Diana can be absolutely terrifying. So this will be a very interesting match to see because we'll see if the Hathor works against Juno or not.
Yeah, I totally agree with the Daphnis ban too. As soon as that's gone, everything's just like you let out a big breath of a sigh of relief. You're like, okay, don't have to deal with the scariest part of that lineup. So let's get into it. It's round 2. Matsu up 1-0. Can Toro come back?
Well, I must say, at least compared to the last time Juno was picked, I like Juno here a lot more.
Right.
She serves a definite purpose here now. Something to keep in mind is that Juno is also a pseudo counter to Fran as well, because when a Juno is around on the field, it makes you really think about whether to use that skill 3 on Fran or not. So we're probably going to be seeing a lot of mind games from both players around that. Matsu thought about what to do there. He went for the strip on Cierra, landed it into a proc, so he's definitely going to go ahead and sleep that down. I agree with that. Now Juno gonna turn those buffs into dots. Now it's just gonna have to be Juno carrying this for a while, and Matsu with the smart play, armor breaking that Vertihal because he knows that he can take it out. However, Wusa, oh man, he went for such a clutch play there, and I actually really respect that because he chose not to heal Vertihal there, because had he landed the sleep out of Wusa, Vertihal would have survived. However, that has a low chance to proc, so it did not work in his favor. Things are honestly looking really bad for Toro, I must say.
Yeah, without that Vertihel to be, you know, the big damage dealer that he was, it was a high percentage play. The coin flip lands tails, and he's not going to be able to keep that Vertihel alive. And that means the shoe is just put totally on the other foot. Now, I mean, if he can get a quick KO right here, I don't know if that's going to be enough even still. I mean, like you said, the Juno's going to have to carry, but I think the time might just be over.
Yeah, I mean, his only hope right now is definitely the Cierra. Cierra can technically still solo carry this if she goes crazy, and she does just that because she detonates the bomb on the Shiho, and it does just enough damage to take it down after the dot, which actually prevented Shiho from moving there. Now, Fran's just gonna come in with the massive AoE healing, pretty much gonna shut down everything that Toro has been trying to do so far, and goodbye, Juno.
Yeah, armor break into the one shot. Oh, we don't even get, okay, we do get a chance to see it there right at the very end. I was worried that they were gonna cut out a little bit too soon. That's when you're trying to concede so fast that you don't watch your monster die. But in the end, the death does come through. Armor break into the one shot right after. And I think the writing was kind of on the wall after that Vertihell went down. Man, that was such a clutch moment when you go for the save and it just didn't work out.
Yeah, I mean, I just really have one thing I want to comment here.
Okay.
I feel like in this meta, you really shouldn't be picking Rakuni and Juno. Units like that are not very high impact at all. It's completely reliant on RNG with those units.
Yeah.
So I would only pick those units up when you literally have 5 stacked composition of anti-CC. Yeah, I would really like to see less of that. But right now, we are about to go to break time, so we will see you guys very, very soon.
For one final time, welcome back, everybody, to the Summoner's War World Arena Championship 2019 APAC Group B qualifiers. I got it right. Nailed it for the second time. It's been a great day of games today, and if you missed any of it, don't worry. We're going to have this VOD up available on the Summonerswar Esports YouTube channel. So whether you're watching us live right now or later on the VOD, we're glad to have you here. So we've seen a crazy day of games, Peter. I can't really put my finger on the favorite moment just yet, but maybe that's why we have one more game coming up. We could just see the craziest thing happen all over again. But let's take a look at the highlights from our previous round between Toro and Matsu.
Yeah, so right now, we're getting into the first match here where Matsu tried to strip the Cierra on turn 1 and shut her bomb down. Unfortunately, it did not work, meaning the Cierra was able to get the bomb off. And the match is just going through very, very quickly. We're seeing Josephine landing the stun on Vertihal. A lot of stuns coming out of Toro. Gianni is desperately trying to finish off the Cierra, and eventually he does finish off the Cierra, but even then, Toro has so much damage on his side that he was able to kill off the Fran regardless here with that Josephine proc. And yeah, I mean, Cierra's just gonna go down here, and what's gonna end up happening here is you see that bomb on Vertihal. That played such a key role for Toro there because that was supposed to be what shuts down this Vertihal. But that resistance coming out of Vertihal into a proc just single-handedly allowed Yunhong to move before the Josephine, meaning that Josephine couldn't finish off the Vertihal there. So I feel like that moment right there was really the reason why Toro lost. I feel like otherwise he might have still had a decent shot. But anyways, second match here, we see that Juno Wusa coming in to counter the Hathor. Unfortunately, Hathor gets a really, really good proc there, locking down 2 units right off the bat. Now Matsu, with his big brain plays, he just targets Vertihal right off the bat, identifying the fact that he can go ahead and kill it. Toro with the really smart play, trying to go for the sleep, knowing that even if he heals, that Vertihal will likely die no matter what. Unfortunately for him, once that Vertihal went down, the game kind of snowballed from there.
Right. After that, it was kind of all over, and you're just going to see the kind of the feeble attempt at making a comeback happen. But I think I agree with what you said after the match, that it's not a good day for Juno picks. We've seen it twice, both times. Well, I guess the first time it really didn't work out. And even though it was a key monster in this composition, once that Vertihal went down, Juno's not going to save you from that position.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Like, Juno, it's a unit, like I said earlier, she needs Despair procs to work.
Yeah.
And if you have a unit that pretty much relies on the rune's innate chance to do something, I feel like that's pretty risky, you know? That's a gamble you don't want to be taking.
Well, we're done gambling with that for now, and we're moving on to our final match of the night. Only 2 players advance on from this group. UT10 skyrocketed out in first place, and now it's up to Yuki and Matsu. Which one of these 2 players will be the second player to represent Japan as he moves out of Group B? You know, honestly, I've been very impressed with both players' play. I think Yuki might have a little bit more of a versatile lineup, but I don't know. Which player do you think has impressed you the most today, Peter?
Out of all the players or just between these 2?
Just between these 2.
I mean, if I just chose one, that would be kind of favoritism.
Okay, we're unbiased casters here,
We're
guys.
unbiased. We like both of them. I feel really, but, you know, even deep down, I feel like they both showed us a lot of cool things today. They're definitely, you know, making their names be known with their playstyles. Like, you watch this guy and you're like, yeah, this is Matsu. This is Yuki. You know, you can really just, it's just crazy. Everyone's just so good in this Japanese tourney.
Yeah, it is actually really, really sick. Last week, we got a chance to see how good all of the Korean players are. Today, we're watching another very competitive region in Japan. And so for one last time, let's get into our last series. Our first round, Matsu versus Yuki.
All right, so here we see Yuki pre-banning the Yunhong out of the way. There's a lot of Yunhong pre-bans in this tourney here. No one really likes to deal with it. And now Matsu goes ahead and takes out the Vanessa, meaning that Yuki had the first pick priority, which he actually decided to use on a Vertihal.
Okay, wow. So picking up Vertihal right off the bat, obviously that doesn't give a ton away, but it's still, I think, the first time that we've seen Verd picked up first today.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen everyone utilizing that Verd, and to be honest, in every single match that Verd was picked, I feel like they always felt more dominant throughout the matchup. So definitely a good pick by Yuki there. Now Matsu, he has 2 damage dealers. Those 2 units are there literally just to deal a lot of damage, and pretty much Matsu has the same thing going on right now. They both picked up very strong damage dealers. Now, what is Matsu gonna do? Is he gonna pull out another damage dealer, or is he gonna opt for the CC?
Oh, just grabs the Hathor. Okay, I guess that makes a little bit of sense, but still waiting to see how Yuki is going to round out his lineup here. He's got one last pick, and I don't think, I mean, maybe you ban the Vert? I don't think we've seen too many Vertihell bans today, but otherwise, I'm not too sure. What do you think Yuki is going to grab as his last role?
I believe Yuki is going to go with some type of anti-CC last unit here because his team comp, if Josephine were to be banned out, would be very weak to Hathor. And on Taurus, he's not a complete anti-CC unit, but he pretty much is at the same time. So I am definitely liking that pick. Not only does it counter the Hathor, it also deals with the Tiana. And now we're going to be seeing Matsu picking up his own Water Fairy here. It's not going to be as dominant as the match where UT showed it because there's no Vertihell and Ganymede to constantly let it do what it wants. But we've seen how scary this unit can be. And I think this unit is actually going to be the new go-to counter for Josephine.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a very strong statement to make there, Peter, but I still think that after what we have seen this Water Fairy do earlier, I mean, we're talking about the double awakened monsters, right?
Yeah.
And I think we're really going to get a chance to see that firsthand. I mean, just the crazy amount of CC this one unit can put out. Like, I don't know. Do you expect that to be banned? I mean, I guess it's not banned, but would that have been a good pick to take out?
I feel it definitely was, especially because Yuki had the Entourage there to counter the Diana anyway, so that Diana ban is really not working out for him. However, I believe he made that ban because he anticipated his own Entourage being banned. So we'll see how this match turns out. But basically, why I say that Water Fairy is the new counter to Josephine is because Josephine's only weakness is getting shut down and CC locked while the passive is down. And that's exactly what the Water Fairy can do. However, Shiho right now started off with skill 2, landing a double stun. Vertihell gonna proc out of that stun, giving his team turns. Now, who is he gonna target first? He goes for the Fran first, and he's also gonna go ahead and try to strip away some buffs from the Fran, and he gets the immunity, which is a pretty good buff to strip.
Right, and is going to land that Provoke there too, so I think that makes a lot of sense. Let's see what happens next. I think, what is the main goal? I guess we didn't talk about that going into this. What are both players looking to accomplish here? Because even you said they could go for a lot of differences, and man, AoE sleep, feels good.
Yeah, so what Yuki is going to try to do here is not let this Hathor dominate the match. He wants to be able to getting the procs from the Entourage. He wants that Josephine's passive to stay up. And he also needs to kill the Fran. So he's kind of having a lot of objectives here. Whereas Matsu, he just needs to keep that Josephine locked down with the Water Fairy while the passive is down. And pretty much just utilize this Hathor and Shiho to take things out one by one as well as putting so much CC.
Trying to keep things healthy. No real, I guess, momentum coming through. But honestly, I think for me, the Josephine is the big kind of question mark. She has really been kept ineffectual for this entire round. And I'm not sure when the next time we're going to get to see her really act is. Look at the crowd control that's being put out by Matsu's lineup. It just keeps coming through. That Josephine, so weak, about to go down. And there it is.
Yeah, that proc from Shiho was absolutely huge. It allowed Matsu to just go ahead and finish off the Josephine right there, meaning Matsu pretty much has a free reign with this Water Fairy now. He can literally just freeze left and right. However, the Vertihell procced, and the Fran was not able to go down.
Yeah, the Entourage attempting the last hit there, but just not enough damage. And you could see that Adrian's trying to set this up. Entourage just couldn't get the finish off there. So now it's a 4-on-3.
Oh
no,
my
again.
gosh.
Fran, how lucky are you? This literally took 3 turns to do what 1 turn should have done.
Yeah, but to be honest there, Yuki kind of got the big violent proc out of Vertihell, allowing that Fran to go down, whereas she could have lived before. Now things are looking really good for Yuki because this Vertihell is moving so many times. What Matsu really needs to do right now is shut down this lineup coming from Yuki Otherwise, he's gonna really struggle. However, the Shiho, he's saying, hey, I'm gonna be proccing too, and just takes out the Vertihell.
Yeah, that's pretty much mission accomplished. You were saying that the Vertihell is such a key part there. He's meant to last as long as possible, and he's out of there.
Yeah, so now Matsu can just go ahead and put up another 2-turn sleep if he chooses to. He does choose to do it, so what I believe is going to happen is he's going to just go ahead and attack the maybe Onturus here, because Onturus has a chance to proc out of his CC anyways, so you might as well start focusing him down first. That heal coming out of the fairy is going to be so huge because it cleanses the attack break and then heals according to her attack power. Just absolutely gross of a unit, I must say.
It is actually so disgusting. All day today, the Water Fairy, when it's picked, has outperformed, I think, everybody's expectations. Such a huge moment here. And keep in mind, this is the last match of the day. The player that wins this advances on to be the second player to represent Japan out of the group stage. So a very, very important moment. And I think we're about to watch that moment come to an end, Peter.
Yeah, I mean, this Hathor, she literally just did that skill 3. I have no idea how she even has it up again, because I was kind of spacing out there. But man, that is so gross, man. Hathor and Water Fairy, way too much CC coming out of that. And yeah.
I almost expect to see Water Fairy either pre or post ban coming up, because I think that as well, and more importantly, as consistent as it has been, maybe when you're playing your RTA, you can say, I just had a bad game, GG, go next. But when you see a unit that's able to perform so consistently, I mean, that's what every pro player at this very high level is looking for. So I'm just really, really excited to see if that is now suddenly a pick that we see banned.
Or maybe it can be taken away,
Oh yeah, that's right. It's like, well, I have the chance to pick first, so let's go with it. So it's not pre-ban. I think that makes that would have been a little bit excessive, but it's still going to be, I think, highly contested.
Yeah, for sure. Now, this time we see different pre-bans coming out, Ganymede and Josephine. So Matsu is just going to go ahead and take that Vanessa first pick, I believe yet again here. And now what is Yuki going to do? Is he going to take a Cierra early on? We've seen people do that a lot when the opponent takes one of the 2 highest contested speed leaders, which are Vanessa and Cierra. Now, I believe that was a bit unnecessary to take. I would rather he just took the Fran there because she's such a strong unit.
Right.
Because I don't believe Matsu was really just going to go ahead and pick another Cierra there. But whatever the case, right now, Yuki needs to somehow draft around this Diana to make sure that she does not go rampant, or start a lineup kind of already thinking that, hey, I'm most likely going to ban this Diana here. So we'll see which way he opts to go for. He's thinking about it. He puts in the Ager, which kind of tells me that he might be looking to ban the Diana. I would say for sure at this point.
And grabs the Triana as the last pick there. Nothing like extremely surprising, but I think that on the other side, Matsu, what were you saying he was looking to go for?
I was saying that Matsu, he was, just... I didn't really say anything about Matsu's lineup yet. It's just more like he had a super composition built around hyper carry Diana.
Right.
From what we saw before. But now with the Hathor and Yeonhung in there, he's got 3 hyper carries in there, so to say. Yeonhung is a damage dealer that just almost never dies unless you can get really, really good damage off on her. Hathor is a unit that can cause a lot of trouble to Yuki's lineup, especially with no immunity, which is why he put in the Wusa there. I am completely expecting a Diana ban coming out of Yuki here. There's no way he does not ban. Okay.
Your crystal ball is broken for this game,
Yeah,
Peter.
I mean...
So not banning the Diana, not only does that not make a lot of sense to either one of us, but taking out the Yeonhung, I mean, we've seen incredible plays from Yeonhung today, but I don't know why leaving that Diana's in here. So now Matsu has pretty much exactly what he wanted, right?
Yeah, so he's got that hyper carry Diana in there. The only way to shut down this Diana by Yuki is to put bombs on it so that it's hard to transform.
Right.
However, Matsu has Cleanse from Fran to get rid of any bombs on Diana, as well as Vanessa there to protect the Diana. So really, Matsu has such an ideal lineup here for Diana to carry. Now, of course, Diana is not a unit that'll literally just win every game that it's in. So we shall see how many pew-pews this horse can get off, so to say. He's just going to go for the Ager first right now. I don't believe Hathor's going to be using the skill 3 here. In my opinion, that would be a waste. Okay, never mind. He doesn't agree with me. So he goes ahead and uses it. And now Tiana, if he gets a proc here, oh my god! I have cursed it.
Yeah, well, you keep doing this, Peter, and I'm not sure it's really helping out our players. If they knew that their occurrences were because of your curses, I think they might have some words to say. We're supposed to be unbiased too, so you gotta curse both players equally.
All right, my bad. But anyways, he's probably not even gonna bother hitting that Ager there because he wants the dots to take out the Ager. That proc from Tiana just completely gonna snowball the match right now. And Vertihal is really trying to come back with the proc, but Tiana can't heal. Oh, Tiana can't heal the Ager no matter what. However, Ager's third skill healing passive actually allowed him to live there through the dots. So now Fran with the multi-hit is going to be able to take out the Ager through Tiana passive, which is going to be super good for Matsu. And now that Vanessa is down as well, this Tiana is actually rather exposed right now, meaning Yuki has a pretty good shot as long as the Tiana... I almost saw myself there. I didn't want to say that because she might have proc from me saying that.
I was going to say you can't use your curse powers too much there, but it is actually very key that Ager lived just one more turn, because now that makes it a 3-on-3 instead of a 4-on-3 like we were talking about, and all of the focus from Yuki has to be on this Tiana. He's working as hard as he can, but this horse just doesn't die.
Yeah, the Fran even is there to cleanse that sleep from Tiana into the huge healing. Things are looking very dire for Yuki right now. He needs to shut down this Tiana somehow. He's going to try to get some more attack bar for his team to hopefully allow his Cierra to move, and that's exactly what he gets. Because now, the Tiana cannot transform. If she does that, she would die. And this means Tiana gets to live now. If not for that bomb, Tiana would not have been able to move maybe, and she would have died. But now the game is, I believe, actually going to snowball off of this.
Yeah, it absolutely could. So much focus on taking down that Tiana, and nothing has happened. Maybe she can't transform yet, but what is Matsu going to do in the meantime while he has to live through the sleep, through the bomb? Like, it's just so much pressure on now.
Yeah, I mean, this is honestly, I would say, pretty GG for Matsu. Unless he pulls off some crazy procs. Even then, I think it's going to be really hard for him to come back at this point because Tiana's definitely going to go down here. I would just bomb the Fran here and detonate. And that might even take out the Fran as well. So it seems Yuki's actually going to come back here, although he was in such dire straits, as I was saying, because he was able to take down the Vanessa early and just snowballed it to putting bombs on Tiana.
And this is so epic, Peter, because we started the day off with an epic 3-game series, and now we're going to end the day exactly the same way. And I'm so excited that we get a chance to watch our two players that are playing for that final spot to advance out of the group. It just doesn't get much more epic than this. Tied up at 1-1, one of these players advances, Matsu or Yuki, and they've both shown that they can analyze what their opponent's doing and come up with exactly the way to counter it, even without banning that Tiana last round. Still able to find a way to deal with it in the end, come out with a win, and take us here to round 3.
Yeah, I feel like really the key to Yuki's victory in that last match there was the Vertihal. That Vertihal really allowed Yuki to get that Cierra out of sleep faster than she normally would, which is why she was able to get the bomb off just in time. So let's see if Yuki goes for the Vertihal first pick here. He chooses not to, meaning Matsu will most likely be considering taking that Vertihal early this time, and I'm right on the money.
Yeah, Vertihal honestly has been one of the most key picks here. Also Water Fairy, but the Vertihal specifically, such a resilient, reliable unit, and just totally deserving of all of these first picks that we're seeing.
Yeah, so actually something that I have not been seeing out of the Japanese players so far, this is what I would do personally if I saw Vertihal and Tiana. There is a unit that actually shuts down Vertihal harder than any other unit in the game. With this unit, Vertihal, you can make him actually useless. And that is Tisarian, the Fire Ifrit, and he has Oblivion, which means Vertihal no longer gives attack bar. And when that happens, he becomes actually useless. But we'll see if Yuki decides to take my advice here and choose it on his last 2 picks.
We don't even know if he has it.
Yeah, well, he should, because there's no excuse for it, because it's a free-to-play monster that everyone can get.
Okay, you say that. I'm not seeing it, okay?
Okay, all right,
so if
fine.
he does, I mean, it should be there, but where is it? We haven't seen it just yet.
You have a point. You have a point.
Okay, we
I
got one last round. Can you pick it? Can you like hear from across time and space Peter's advice or not?
I actually take back my advice here, because in this case here, Matsu put up a lineup that is kind of iffy to take Tessarian into, because Fran kind of shuts out Tessarian, and Water Fairy is also just pretty much going to lock down your Tessarian. So I take back my statement, and I'm glad he didn't pick it. He goes for the Shihu and Tiana instead. Matsu, once again, opting for the Hathor. I feel like Matsu was the guy who used Hathor the most out of any people in this tournament so far. He's really showing that he likes that pick in his lineup.
Yeah, I think UT10, you played it maybe 1 or 2 rounds, but no, you're absolutely right. Now, is that worthy of a post-ban?
I think Yeonhong pre-ban was, I mean, you're talking about post-ban, right?
Right.
Post-ban wise, I think I would ban Vertihal maybe, but all right. So he puts the respect ban onto the Water Fairy because he does not want to deal with it. I personally wanted to ban Vertihal because that is what really enables all 4 units in Matsu's comp. But I don't think that was a bad ban at all. Taking out the Water Fairy, so there is no pressure of that 2-turn sleep every time. So we'll just see. We'll just have to see how this match goes, because after all, whoever wins this just wins everything pretty much.
That's right. This is for all the marbles. One final match. Let's see how it's going to go. So start things off. What's the goal for both players here, Peter?
Matsu, he needs to get that Hathor to do a lot of things, so to say. He needs to sleep as much targets as possible while enabling his Diana to move a lot with the Vertihal. That is what I would be doing if I was Matsu. And Yuki, he really needs to take out units ASAP. He literally has triple damage dealers on his team comp. So his focus is going to be to take out that Vertihal as soon as he can. The Violent proc definitely going to help him out with that. He goes for the second skill there so he can make sure he stuns it. However, that means a lot of attack bar is going to be given to Diana, so she can go ahead and choose to either shield here or transform. Transform would be very risky. He actually went ahead and tried to go for the stun there instead, not getting it. So now, this Ager, we'll see if he takes the attack bar here from the... Wow. From the Vertihal, but no, he actually goes for the Fran instead because he wanted to take away the attack buff so that the healing on Vertihal wouldn't be as strong. But I think I personally would have liked to see the attack bar taken out of Vertihal a lot more, because Fran's just going to get that attack buff healing in anyway. So I do feel like that was a pretty big misplay coming out, a big chance missed.
Yeah, and now all that work to damage Vertihal is completely taken out. Now, the Vengeance, though, could come through, returning the focus to Fran here. I mean, obviously, that's going to make it put a lot more pressure on the healing, but I don't know if it's going to be effective. I mean, you see how the shields just save, but just barely hanging on. Fran, it's so close. Can they save it? We're looking for the procs. Gets 2 of them.
Oh man, that's really unfortunate for Matsu that he could not sleep the Tiana there, because she is the one that cleanses away the sleeps.
Yep.
Now, Yuki is actually just going to go ahead and finish off the Fran. And I'll tell you what, this match can still go either way, but because Antares is in there, always contesting Diana's ability to transform just like that, you see right there.
Perfectly.
She gets cut by the Antares, and now Antares is going to be able to shut out the Diana. I honestly don't know why he transformed there, because he didn't even have his pew-pew up, so I don't get it, but hey man, I'll take it. Antares is getting super procs right now. Tiana gonna be able to cleanse that sleep away from the Shiho, and now something to keep in mind here is, although the Diana is going to get a turn, like I said, Diana doesn't have PP up. So why in the world would you transform there, leaving Diana exposed for 2 turns straight, right? But, you know, Yuki knows right now that he doesn't really need to focus on the Diana too hard.
Right.
Verd is more of a threat to him, so he's trying desperately to take that out. 1 HP left on that Vertihal. Can he kill it before Hathor uses skill 3 again?
Going for the stun, not going to get it. The Vertihal is just perched on death's door, and finally it is going to go down, and that is just such a disaster. Is Yuki about to make the comeback happen here? He was down one game, comes back in round 2, and now he's looking poised to be the second player out of Group B.
Yeah, so what needs to happen, what happened here is Tiana needs to get super procs, and not only that, she needs to get not cut by Antares, but no proc coming out of that Tiana so far. Hathor just once again gonna sleep that Shiho down. Now Tiana, oh, she gets caught again.
Man, Antares is doing work this game, and Tiana, who's really supposed to be the hyper carry here, is not doing her job. She keeps getting caught like that, and will never be able to turn this game around and win it for Matsu if it keeps happening that way.
Yeah, but he still gets his turn here finally.
Yeah.
He manages to take out the Shiho. Now, if you're Yuki, do you heal or go for the gamble sleep? He's gonna get the proc into attack bar reduction. Diana's still gonna get a turn, but she is looking so unhealthy, and that Antares is gonna show why he is the king.
Every time. Yuki coming out with a clutch win, the turnaround at the very last moment to be the second player from Japan to represent his country and himself in the next round. What an incredible final match of the night. Just, so good. It doesn't get much better than that, guys.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm still, like, I'm just processing the match just now in my mind, and that was so crazy. We got so many interesting interactions with Diana in that match as well. With the Antares, right?
Yeah.
Antares is meant to be there to take away Diana's turns. That's his concept, which is why people don't like Antares. And Matsu didn't ban it out, which really shut down the Diana's potential there.
Yeah, and shutting down Diana, such a key part of dealing with Matsu's comp. I feel like kind of live by the Diana, die by the Diana. And when Antares was so effective at continually catching Diana every single time, well, not every time, but pretty often, that was extremely, extremely effective. Now, you guys thought the games were the best part. Well, the also best part is that we're giving away all of these codes. Happy Group B Day is our second code. So you guys have been waiting for that all broadcast long. Well, now it's here. So if you have an Android device, you can go ahead and enter that in. And if you have an iOS device, you can check the link that you need to click in the chat, which is, well, actually it's that way because our camera's reversed. But wherever your chat is, click the link in there if you have an iOS device, or just enter the code in the game on Android. And that's our nice little way of saying thank you. And a big thank you to everyone who's tuned in here. It was my first day here broadcasting on the SWC broadcast. And I think I was very blessed to not only be here, but also to cast such good games. And of course, to have Peter here for your gigantic brain. What a fantastic day of games. Here's a little bit of a recap about how everything looked. UT10 speed rocketed his way out of this group. Clearly an incredible player. And then Yuki clawed it back through that last chance match to turn it around and be the second player to advance out of Group B.
Yeah, huge congratulations to UT10, or should I say UT1, and Yuki for busting out the huge victories. Now they have a shot to play at the world stage and show what Japan is really all about.
Yeah, and clearly Japan is all about some very, very skilled players, some very key picks. I can't wait to see more of UT10. The fact that he was able to show off that Eladriel pick in the first game, that was the only match that he lost today, was the match that he didn't pick Eladriel in that first game. And then obviously he was able to win the next one 2-0. Such a unique play style, really cool way to start off the day. I just can't wait to see more of these Japanese players.
Yeah, I mean, like, really, like I said earlier, Japan, they were so diverse today with their metas and picks. You know, Korea, they were very set on their concept of, hey, we're going to play around Gani, Hathor, Oki, and CC.
Right.
Australia, they were also kind of more like, trying to figure out their meta and stuff like that.
Yeah, they were a little all over the place. Lots of experimentation going on there.
Yeah, but Japan, I feel like these guys also experimented, but not just that. They already polished the experiment. Like, they've done their homework. They've already tested out on their normal RTA games. They know it works well, and they just, proudly shined it off, right? Their strats.
Oh, they definitely did. And I think that the clean nature of a lot of these plays that are going on, just, so good. So that's Japan, guys. I hope you're excited to see more of them in the next rounds. But, we aren't done with these qualifiers just yet. We've got not only some sick highlights for you guys, but also even more SWC group stage action coming your way in the next week. So let's actually take a look at some of these highlights because there were so many cool things from today to take a look at. Even that last series, such an amazing comeback from Yuki.
Yeah, I mean, this highlight just gonna be such a pleasure to watch. Just wrapping up everything that just happened. I'm just excited to see my boy Onters go at it.
Oh yeah. That was actually, I think, the best Andres game that we've seen today.
So
It's,
yeah, for sure, by far.
He's definitely meant to like specifically, a hard counter, like take away those turns from an important unit like Tiana. And then finally, we got that epic showdown at the end, and Andres was just like, "This is my time to shine. My people need me," and was able to come out and just be a real MVP there in the final game. So really exciting way to kind of close things out and be that clutch unit, that clutch monster that Yuki needed. So a really cool way to end things with the reverse sweep. I guess it's a best of 3, so technically it is a reverse sweep. But Yuki's pretty happy that he went with that pick too, as it did allow him to make that comeback possible.
Disclaimer though, if you are trying to use Onters at home, it doesn't work like that all the times because I'll tell you what, I use Onters too like that in those scenarios. My boy does nothing. He would literally let Diana move 7 times straight, and he would just be sleeping there with his head down. Like, I swear to God, dude, it's unfair.
Yeah, definitely not just an auto pick. So don't try this at home, guys. Definitely some more reliable RTA picks.
Yeah, only when it really hard counters the opponent. When they go Diana and CC, there you go. But other than that, don't just pick it brainlessly into everything. Like, oh man, this boy is gonna proc like 10 times throughout the match. Well, you're about to be disappointed.
Yeah, competitive is maybe slightly different than your RTA games. So I think while it's cool to learn some new advanced strategies from watching, the incredibly skilled players that we have, definitely don't just think that these are easy to apply. I love that about Summoner's War is that, I mean, you can, have all the best monsters and runes that you want, but if you don't know how to use them, then they are totally useless. So you really have a lot to learn, and it's clear that a lot of our players today really have learned those important lessons and know exactly some of the plays to make. And even though they're kind of risky at some points, sometimes you just got to go for it. We've seen it work. We've seen it kind of painfully fail right when the players needed it most. We've really gotten the whole roller coaster of emotions. Let's get into some highlights from our final match between Matsu and Yuki.
All right, so here we can see Matsu starting the turn off with a huge double stun, and right away he combos it off into the Hathor CC later. Really helps shutting out that Vertihal and Onters from moving, as well as the Water Fairy there to really shut out the Josephine's role, which is to counter CCs such as Shiho and Hathor, which is why I'm telling you guys, Water Fairy is the go-to pick against Josephine. Write that one down. Anyways, now we see here Vertihal really trying super hard to proc the way back into the game for Yuki, but Shiho there going to be such a reliable damage dealer, sniping things left and right. I believe this Water Fairy didn't even go down, although she was so low in HP there because she's got a really, really huge heal, and from there on the game pretty much was over.
Yeah, I mean, Ager was trying his best to make the comeback possible, but he likes sleeping on the job a little bit too much. So
yeah.
He's out of there. That was round 1, and from here on out, I think, I was expecting just a lot from Matsu. He performed so well in that first round. What really changed to allow Yuki to make this comeback in round 2, Peter?
Here we saw that Diana was in a great spot to carry the match because there was not too much pressure on her with the Cierra sleeping as well. He even got a proc, literally the ideal proc to make sure this Onters goes down early. However, that Vertihal being there and not getting slept by the Hathor, I feel like, I'm not sure if it was this match I commented. I remember there was a match where I said, I wonder if he's going to use the Hathor sleep there or save it. And if this was a match where he did not save it, then I feel like that's the reason why he lost. He really should have saved it to lock down the Vertihal as well, in my opinion. Whatever the case, we saw that with Vertihal constantly giving turn to his team, Cierra was able to get a comeback and put a bomb onto the Diana. And from then on, the match snowballed.
So that's the end of round 2. That was the round that really tied things up. And that takes us to our final round here in set 3. Now, what is the big change that we saw here? Is it still the focus on Diana?
Yes, Matsu tried to go for the Diana hyper carry lineup again here with the Hathor there, shutting everything down, putting him to sleep so that Diana can get kind of a free reign. But we're really seeing that Diana today is not working out the best because even though Hathor was able to put a sleep on the Antares doesn't really tend to sleep much often as long as he procs. So he literally woke himself up, and Matsu made a misplay with the Diana, which pretty much allowed Antares to get even a more stronger position in the match, so to say. And yeah, I mean, even though Diana was able to kill off Shiho and bring down Ager to so low, Ager pretty much just won the game after Diana did her thing, you know?
Yeah, being forced to transform at the end. Antares really sick counter there. The comeback happens. Yuki advances on along with UT10. So really excited to see both of these players advance on. And if you guys watch this broadcast, then if either one of these players goes on to do great things in SWC, you can say you saw it here first. So here's a look at the way that our group stage looks so far. Lucky God and Per advanced from the Korean Group A. From the Japanese Group B, Yuki and UT10 will advance on to the next round. Group C will be coming up next week, so you do not want to miss all of our fabulous SEA teams. Diligent and Groot, of course, qualifying out of Australia. Then we have Judas from Thailand and Lu Vu from Vietnam. And then, of course, the week after that, we've got Group D, our representatives from everywhere. We've got a special Chinese broadcast for that group too. So we're just really stepping it up one group at a time. But coming up next week from Group C, I think it's going to be really cool to see the continuation of Diligent and Groot, who had such strong performance in that really weird Australia-New Zealand qualifier.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely got to see a lot of good stuff from them. They are both Gianna users. I believe Judas is a Ragdoll user. Group C is going to have a lot of light Dark Nat 5s. So definitely tune into that because that's going to be spicy.
If you want to be really jealous at people who get monsters you just never seem to get out of your scrolls, you carefully save up everything. You get your one light or dark scroll.
That's
you
right
use
there.
it. And it's like, oh, wow, you got a congratulations, a Nat 4. Oh, I'm so sorry. Did you want a Nat? Okay. Well, all of these players have the remarkable ability to get an incredible amount of those. I don't have that ability. You don't have that ability, but it's a useful ability to have. So if you want to watch a lot more players who have that ability and a lot more, like the ability to play the game at a very high level, then stay tuned. Next week, we've got a lot more action coming your way from these SWC qualifiers. It's been a great day of games. It's been my pleasure to be here along with you, and I hope that you all had a great time today here too. Make sure to come back next week because we've got lots more SWC 2019 action coming your way. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week.